Welcome back to Armchair Fans right here on Football Daily. Today it's Liverpool versus Bayern Munich at Anfield. We're going to be doing a watch-along, going to be fielding some of your questions, but most importantly, I'm joined on the sofa by Michael McCubbin, Christopher Hamill and Doogie Critchley, who will be fielding your questions.
I will indeed, yes. So please get them in the comment section of the YouTube video, and I will endeavour to ask as many as possible to our fine colleagues here.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited by this one, though. It's a big game, isn't it?
Massive.
Oh,
massive.
It's tasty. I think we all wanted Jurgen Klopp to draw Bayern Munich, his old adversaries, and you've been looking at the form books, haven't you, Miguel?
I have.
And how has he fared against them in the past?
Well, I mean, he's got a long history, obviously, with German Jazz, doesn't he? Time at Mainz, time at Dortmund, he played them. In fact, 29 times in total. Obviously that's not all the Bundesliga. He had some great clashes in the DFB Pokal, didn't he? Especially at Dortmund. But I don't think he ever beat them at Mainz. I think he drew with them once and lost all the other times. And then after going to Dortmund in 2008, even then, I think it took him about 12 games against them to get his first win. But then since then, he got like 9 wins. So I think like in the last kind of 4 years of his Dortmund tenure, he bossed Bayern.
Obviously it's been a while to being an elite side,
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. Obviously, he hates their guts as well, doesn't he? Old Jurgen.
Does he though?
I think he
does.
Urban
myth.
I think he hates them. Well, a lot of German football fans tend to not particularly like Bayern, and I think he celebrates whenever
Hollywood
whenever
FC.
they get beat.
Yeah,
at least by Borussia or Mainz. But
I'm going to go with the narrative that he hates them because it makes this game far more meaningful. Okay. And those, what was it, 2 league titles that he ascertained at Dortmund? He had to fight long and hard for them, didn't he?
Yeah.
There must have been a certain amount of animosity seeing Bayern bring in the best players, be given the biggest budget, hoover up all that domestic talent. So yeah, I think he'll be absolutely gagging to beat them. And at home as well, Bayern historically not got on well here, not scored here in 3 games. I don't think they've beat Liverpool since 1971, ladies and gentlemen. So if we're going by the history books, then Liverpool could give them a good stuffing tonight, although it might be a little bit closer. We've just seen the lineups, Joseph.
Yeah,
Liverpool's defence looking a little bit weak.
I mean, that's an understatement, isn't it? Obviously, no Virgil van Dijk today. He is suspended, so they've gone with Alexander-Arnold. Obviously, first choice right back. Matip.
No graphics, this isn't the kickoff.
Fabinho and Robertson. That centre-back pairing is there to be got at tonight, isn't it? Is Lovren off ill?
Lovren is a hamstring injury. And Virgil van Dijk was suspended and Joe Gomez is injured. So his hand has been forced, Jurgen Klopp. And this is where, that squad depth, that summer recruitment really comes into its own. Having someone like Fabinho who can plug loads of gaps, absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, as for Bayern Munich, pretty much a settled lineup for them. Obviously, no Jerome Boateng tonight, but Nicolas Süle and Mats Hummels still a fairly adequate pairing at the heart of the defence. I still think, though, Liverpool can really get at this Bayern Munich team. I've just got a feeling that Liverpool are going to turn them over. It's one of those Champions League Anfield nights under the lights, and although they weren't great at the back against PSG, I just thought they tore them apart. They could have scored 4 or 5 against PSG. And I think it will be the exact same tonight against Bayern Munich.
You've been looking at their squad a little bit closer, haven't you, in the last hour? Yeah. You're not a Bayern expert. I'm going to throw you under the bus, mate. But
limited. I'd be inclined to disagree, actually. Bayern are in the best form they've been in all season. Obviously, if you're looking at XG and expected points and whatever, they should actually be winning the Bundesliga quite comfortably. Obviously, that hasn't been the case.
And it's happening. Dortmund drawing. They're catching up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Dortmund drawn the last 3. They're only 3 points off Dortmund now. They've won 8 of their last 9 games in all comps. So Liverpool are facing Bayern in the best form they've been in all season. Yeah. Liverpool obviously with that back line. Bayern equally though not been great defensively this season. I think they've conceded something like 24, 25 goals in Babuli, which by their standards isn't great at this point of the season. So yeah, I think it's going to be goals both ways. They've also got Kingsley Coman on hot form. After coming back from injury, he scored twice on the weekend. I'm really looking forward to seeing him. Really looking forward to seeing how he matches up against Trent. I guess he'll be coming up against on the left. Yeah. So I think it'll be good.
Because he actually went off with an ankle injury, didn't he? But he's back. He's back. He's in the starting lineup, running amok. And I wonder if they're playing, a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1? I guess it's a 4-3-3, that Thomas Muller, isn't it? So he's dropped out. I actually think both teams are going to concede. I think we're going to see goals today, touch wood. Is there any wood?
Fingers crossed.
Touch the old head. I think it's going to be 3-1.
Okay, yeah, I was just about to ask for score predictions whilst the fans belt out "You'll never walk alone" if you are watching. Mikey, come on then, you're clearly backing Bayern tonight. Giving your bluster about.
I'm backing them to give us a good game. I don't think they're going to lose, but I don't know if they're going to win. I'm going to go for a 3-3 draw. This is going to be
God!
People.
You just jinxed it.
Mystic Mike back again.
Them views, mate. Them views. What about Kimmich's tash, though?
You've gone 3-1, haven't you, Hammer?
I have.
I think it will be 4-1 to Liverpool.
Wow,
that's
comprehensive. Guys. I reckon I'm going a bit more conservative. I reckon 2-1 to Liverpool. But I'm really excited. I think it's a massive game for Naby Keita as well. Having not really had that season-defining moment where Liverpool fans have finally been like, this is the £54 million man. He really needs a big game tonight. But it'll be fascinating to see. But make sure you're getting your questions in, and I will ask them to the lads, rather. The first one, then, comes in from 45 Flying Klopp, and he says, who are the key battles? What are the key battles in this game, lads? What do you guys think?
Ooh, I think on that right-hand side, Joshua Kimmich up against Andy Robertson, probably two of the best right-backs, or the best full-backs in world football right now, I'd say. In fact, probably, in my opinion, the best full-back.
Because Kimmich has got more about him.
Now.
Kimmich is more intelligent, but Robertson is better physically.
I actually do think right now Robertson is the best left back in the world. I think Marcelo had a claim. He was probably that last season. I think he's fallen off a little bit this season. Hasn't really found a home, and obviously we've seen him dropped under Salah at times. And I think right now Joshua Kimmich, in 2019 nobody's got more assists than him in all competitions.
Yeah, no,
so
I
I
think
think
agree with Kimmich.
Probably Kimmich and Andy Robertson, the two outstanding fullbacks in world football, facing off.
For me, I'd go for. Yeah, David. I'd go for probably Lewandowski with that centre-half partnership of Matip and your boy Fabinho in there, because Lewandowski is in fine fettle. This year's top goal scorer in the Champions League on 8 goals. He's scored in 4 games on the bounce in the Champions League. He's never scored in 5 as well, so chance to get a personal accolade there. And he's just been consistently brilliant. So I think Lewandowski might grab Bayern's solitary goal, but let's see how Matip handles him, of all people. Go on then, what about you?
I mean, I mentioned Trent versus Koeman before. I think that'll be interesting. I think Koeman will cause a lot of problems in general. But also the midfield battle as well, like you were saying, Naby Keita, Doogie, big night for him. It'd be interesting to see how Javi Martinez and Thiago deal with him. Obviously, Thiago's great at breaking up players, and so yeah, the midfield battle will be interesting. That could be where it's won and lost. To be fair,
What do you think has gone wrong with Naby Keita so far this season? Because he's not hit the ground running. I mean, I remember talking about him on Sunday Vibes going into this season, saying he is one of the outstanding central midfielders in Europe.
Yeah, and
he started fantastically as well, didn't he?
And I'm still fairly confident he'll come good and he'll prove a really good acquisition. I mean, a couple of early fitness concerns, and unfortunately for him, Liverpool have looked really well balanced when they've had a midfield 3 in the Champions League of Henderson, Milner, and was it Gini Wijnaldum, who's probably been their unsung hero of this season, hasn't he? So competition for places is one thing as well. Let's not forget Fabinho is also vying for a place in central midfield, and he's having to play right back, centre back. So I still think he'll come good, although a lot of Liverpool fans are running out of patience with him already.
It's a bit ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's just kind of inconsistency in terms of Milner had such a strong first 3 months of the season, didn't he? And he was pretty much you couldn't get him out of the team. And then kind of since then, I guess it's just kind of inconsistency in terms of who he's been playing with in that midfield. I think once there's like an actual settled midfield 3 on a week-to-week basis.
Slightly unfortunate as well. Gini's been in the form of his life, arguably one of the best midfielders in the Premier League.
And even he's had to fill in at fullback on occasion, and he's been absolutely magnificent. Like, his stats are slightly down from last season in terms of attacking output, but actually his quality of build-up play has gone through the roof. Yeah. I think it amounts to about a 0.5 expected goals in his build-up play, so a lot of positive play coming through him, the conduit for a lot of good transitions. What's happened there with the Bayern attack, my Cubs?
Lewandowski tried to break through there and got fouled, I believe, by Wijnaldum.
Oh man, at the moment.
You know, there's going to be a lot of pressure on these Bayern centre-backs tonight as well, because they're not the most mobile. Nicolas Sula is ginormous.
Yeah.
Huge.
Do you know what?
Mats Hummels has lost all his pace.
I remember Pato saying that he was really slow on I think it might have been a Euro roundup, and everyone was like, "You are crazy." Apparently his acceleration, I think maybe his general pace kind of dies off, but his acceleration is really good.
That's Sula, right?
And reliably
Hummels.
informed. Sula. Yeah, not so much Hummels. Hummels has never been like gas, has he? But
Yeah,
it's his
maybe
confident play.
I just associate the
'Cause his
size,
size, yeah, 'cause
with slow.
he's a shed, isn't he?
Do you guys want a prediction from one of the fans tonight?
Yeah, go on, get some fans predictions.
Menez
in,
18 says,
fan of the year.
he says McCubbin to score a bicycle kick today and win Derby County the TIM Cup. You heard
There
it
you
here
go.
first.
Yeah, shouts, Menez.
There's quite a few
that.
people saying 2-2. There's quite a few people saying 2-1. And the next question comes in
Great
from
play from
Michael
Bayern,
Daigle. And he says, is this the last chance for Bayern to win a Champions League in the next 5 years?
What? Wow.
Or if they fail to sign Timo Werner? So he's basically saying, do they need to sign Timo Werner to really progress into that next level?
You're a Bayern man. You take that first. McCubbin.
Maybe. Yeah, they definitely need a new striker, don't they? At least in 2 years, they will definitely need one. But I don't know. It's a funny one. I've backed Bayern consistently to win the Champions League almost every single season up until this one. I think since about 2013. So
7 in 9 semi-finals, isn't it?
So they
Crazy
always
consistency.
tease me, and then they always let me down. But I don't know, man. I think they'll always have a chance. To be honest, like they've still got a fantastic midfield, still decent age as well. Again, like their defence probably do with a bit of renewal at centre back, maybe like Hummels aging out a little bit.
Got
as
Pavard
well.
coming in as well.
Yeah, forget about Pavard actually. So
Isn't his preferred position centre back as well?
Yeah, he's a centre half.
Yeah.
So yeah, it depends. And I mean, I don't know whether Timo Werner's like. If they don't get Timo Werner, there's still other strikers out there that they can get. Look at Luka Jovic and the Bully this season.
Yeah.
I don't think it all rests on Timo Werner, to be honest. It's just it's just the player that you'd expect to go there, considering Bayern's track record.
Do you think a couple of clubs have seen how Piatek has fared at AC Milan and been like, oh God, let's just get Jovic.
It could actually happen.
Let's just get Jovic and see if something similar happens. Because 35 is starting to look like a bargain for him now, isn't it, Piatek?
Oh, massively, yeah.
Absolute steal.
But he's surely going to run out of steam soon.
I mean, he's not going to carry on scoring at this rate. He'll be on
like,
100 goals by the end of the season.
I know, and also, like, I feel I sniff some Michu vibes. About Piatek.
I
don't want to say. I don't want to be that harsh.
Michu crazy. Cut that out.
We always forget that
Atalanta.
Michu only had 3 months. Like it was only the first half of one season that he was good in.
Yeah,
was
Piatek's
great,
obviously better than him, but that sort of massive like propulsion to superstardom, and then just a sudden like, where is he?
Yeah, I suppose he was
dunno, it's
only
maybe
killing
still
it in Poland before, wasn't he? Half a season at Genoa. So yeah, the pedigree's not there. But when I see him play, he just reminds me of Lewandowski actually. Like he's kind of built like that. He's been so confident since he went to AC Milan. It's like he's enjoying the limelight, which is the polar opposite to a few strikers that have failed to make the grade at big clubs. They've kind of like shied away from it, haven't they? Like Morata, like Lukaku maybe a little bit this season at Manchester United. He kind of seems like, oh, what's happening there?
Bayern trying to play out the back.
Neuer again, individual mistakes.
He's a nightmare.
All campaign.
What's happened to Neuer this season and over the last 18 months, Mike?
Come on, you're assistant manager at Bayern, Mike.
I know this is it. I'm not equipped to talk about this at all, really, because I haven't watched that much Bayern this season. But he clearly, Bayern conceding a lot more goals than before. Oh, that was great though, fantastic. I don't know what it was. I think that injury last season really did him, didn't it?
Yeah.
Since he's come back, he just doesn't look anywhere near as confident. His decision making is gone in one-on-one situations as well. Nowhere near as strong as he used to be.
Yeah. Not great.
I think it is. I don't know what it is with goal. When you have a serious injury as a goalkeeper, it can't look at Petr Cech. It took him a few years to get back to his best after that injury.
Although
at Chelsea.
his injury was severely, much more severe than Neuer's.
It was much worse, but I don't know. I just think after that. After a big spell out, it can. I
definitely. I think his biggest drop-off has been with the ball at his feet. I've seen him he'd give the ball away so many times to his centre-backs. And even, simple decision-making on how to save shots. I saw him, the highlights against Augsburg at the weekend, and Ji Dong-won was giving him a lot of difficulty, the ex-Sunderland striker, with a couple of efforts, which Neuer was eventually palming away with sort of his upper biceps. It was just bizarre. He looked like a complete fish out of water.
Oh, nearly.
Nearly got in there.
It's not great for him that Sven Ulreich was awesome last season as well. He played
100%.
near enough every game, didn't he? And they referred to him as the wall by the end of the season. So he had a standout campaign and then was kind of just replaced on reputation, I guess. But Bayern almost sneaking in there.
Yeah.
Becker just managing to put Lewandowski off, but we go again.
It's scary for the Liverpool defence there. Completely split.
Yeah.
And Lewandowski
Almost
luckily
in.
found himself on side.
Let's get another question then, Deuce, from the people watching.
Right, Will Stenton, thank you very much, mate, for getting in touch with us. He says, do you think even if they don't win the Premier League, this is the best Liverpool side since the new Premier League was introduced? So since they, obviously since 1994, do you think this is the best Liverpool side?
So competing with Rafa Benitez's what side of
8, 9 probably.
Yeah.
7, 8.
Brendan Rodgers is
13,
SAS.
14, yeah.
I think you can only compare them with the 0809 really. I think Brendan Rodgers is like in terms of the actual quality throughout the side,
Neuer.
they don't have anywhere near as much.
Oh. No, I mean
but this side have reached a Champions League final and a Europa League final.
off the pitch as well.
And they've broken their they had
transfer
the best
record 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, true. But also like in terms of points in the league, like they're performing better than any Liverpool side ever. Like better than most English sides ever. So
what are you thinking becomes best Liverpool side?
Based on points, yeah. But I think
and squad depth.
Yeah, their squad depth is good.
I mean, they've dealt with 2 or 3 injuries fairly well over the last kind of 3 or 4 weeks, haven't they? I would say that they're more coherent off the pitch than ever as well. They used to buy some right trash, didn't they?
Yeah, even in the beginning.
Oh my God, do you remember Konchesky?
At Liverpool, what, when Hodgson bought Robbie Keane, Konchesky, who else? Charlie Adam was a Kenny. That was bloody, what's his name as well? Ponytail, Andy Carroll.
Oh yeah.
Imagine bringing out
Andy
Carroll.
I think Suarez did come in the same window.
To replace Torres.
Right, they came on the same day, yeah.
But Carroll was the marquee signing in that window, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think he cost 13 million more than Suarez, which is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, it's true. I think this is the best squad they've ever had. I think the other teams have better individuals. I think Luis Suarez would be the best individual of any of the squads.
Torres, what better than Mo Salah?
I think prime Luis Suarez, I would still take over Mo Salah. I think Torres as well, better individual, and then Stevie G obviously
as well.
running through both of those teams. So they had some fantastic individuals. But you look at this Liverpool team, I think there's there's probably 7 or 8 like stars in this team.
Yeah.
From Alisson through to Van Dijk, the fullbacks are both excellent, much better than they had back then. So I think this is the best squad, but there's definitely better individuals in previous years.
They're pretty complete as a team, aren't they?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think 6 or 7 of this starting 11 would be in or around, if not starting, in both those sides.
You maybe have to...
Particularly from the defence. I'd say Robertson, Trent, Van Dijk and Alisson would all be in that 13-14 Liverpool side.
Did you do a combined XI for this game?
I didn't,
You didn't?
No,
Oh,
but you
mate.
don't offer it. I'm going to complain.
Oh, Fabinho.
It's well dealt with. That's pretty cash by Van Alden on the edge of the box there. Liverpool clearing.
It's quite cagey so far, isn't it? It's quite cagey.
But there's been some high quality exchanges of like possession, some nice little neat build-up moves. They're just kind of sizing each other up, I guess, aren't they?
Yeah.
Do you guys want a Bayern question?
Yeah, go on then, dude.
Of course.
Jack Heath, he asks, do you think that Bayern will stick with their manager even if they don't win the bully or go deep into the Champions League? The $1 million question. What are you guys thinking?
Oh.
It's a difficult one. Like based on recent years, you'd say no because they have been quite
inconsistent.
Yeah, like I mean with Ancelotti and who was before? I don't know.
They've been quite ruthless.
They were quite ruthless with Ancelotti, weren't they? Considering his pedigree, obviously.
That was more the players, wasn't it? The player revolt.
But
everyone but Heinkes has been under the microscope, haven't they?
So even Ancelotti, when the players are like. There's for certain players in this squad that are also not the biggest Kovac fans. The likes of James and a few other prima donnas potentially in there. I'm not sure Kovac will still be there next season.
It's a difficult period to come in as Bayern manager because there's a lot of big players coming to the end of their tenure, aren't there? And I suppose if you change system, especially when James Rodriguez was absolutely flying at the end of last campaign, you change system and he feels like you're not a top manager, you're not a manager of the pedigree, to the one who was playing you, then you probably... you're going to have moments like that. But he's in the starting lineup tonight, isn't he? And he's been in decent form. Could still potentially go back to Real Madrid, but we'll see. They've got the option to buy, haven't they? Is it the end of this year? I think in the 3rd year, isn't it? 2-year loan deal.
It will just be, I mean, after such a period of dominance, it's difficult to maintain your standards at the top. And I think it just seems like Bayern have slightly slipped in theirs, at least defensively this year. Dortmund put together a great run at the start of the year. You can't, knock them, although they have drawn their last 3, and obviously that really damaging result against Spurs. So It's going to be, Bayern will be there or thereabouts in the
Give us a
Bundesliga. I'm not quite sure they've got enough to win the Champions League this year. But
We did say at the start of the campaign, didn't we, that the defence is very young for Dortmund.
Yeah.
Akanji, Diallo,
yeah.
Zagadou, and that might play a part as the season goes on. And they've conceded quite a few in the last few weeks, haven't
They've
they?
had to play Weigl there as well, haven't they? Which isn't...
The capitulation against who was it?
Hoffenheim.
Hoffenheim was particularly worrying.
when they were 3-0 up,
Yeah.
Oh, what a ball! Oh my God! Oh, Jordan Henderson, ball of the game.
Jordan
Deep in his
Henderson.
own half, has just pinged it to Mo Salah. Not deep in his own half,
Xabi
in fact,
Alonso,
on the halfway line. Yeah.
Wow.
Xabi Alonso reincarnate. I think
What a
should
ball.
Salah get a better connection with this?
Sula does
Look at
well,
Sula's
man.
completely lost him.
Yeah,
Sula does really
Sula's
well in the end.
Sula's put an arm across him, hasn't he? There, done enough to put him off. Oh, mate.
Jordan
Thought we're in then.
Henderson,
Thought we were in.
That was a classic Jordan Henderson. Like he doesn't get enough credit for balls like that. He actually does ping quite a few of them.
Oh, not enough to put.
Oh, he's got roasted. Oh my God, what a chance!
I think that hit Alisson in the face.
I think it did as
I
well.
think he took it in the chest.
my
Oh my God, what a chance for Lewandowski.
Such good ball
Michael,
from
what's
Gnabry.
going on, mate?
Well, Gnabry broke wonderfully down the right. Absolutely.
Oh
Wait,
my
I-
God. The game has exploded
Yeah.
into
Oh,
life
Lord.
here.
Here we
That's
go.
a great block from
What a
Naby as
game
well.
already. 3 minutes of chaos
Here's the
there.
replay.
That's
then.
fantastic from
Are they gonna
Gnabry.
show it?
Such a good touch to take it down as well. Great ball into the box. Was it Lewandowski who headed it against Alisson?
Really
Quite
don't
possibly.
know.
I think
about
it did come
6
off
yards.
his face though.
Happened
Yeah.
in a flash.
I know.
Took it like a
I
champ.
mean, Andy Robertson got absolutely melted there, didn't he?
Gnabry, yeah.
Turned into a candle.
Right, still on the attack. Oh, okay, we've got a moment to catch our breath. Right, lads, there is another game going on in Europe this evening, obviously. Declan Bellamy wants to know, what are your predictions for Lyon-Barcelona?
Oh, is that tonight?
That's
in
tonight.
Lyon?
It's playing right now in Lyon, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to say...
Do you know what? Barcelona were awful against Valladolid.
Yeah.
Absolutely dreadful. I know that, Messi missed a penalty,
Is
so
it
it should have been
replay?
more daylight. Replay. Go on, McCubs. What's happened?
Oh, I think that comes off Matip, does it?
Matip, idiot.
Is it off Matip?
Yep.
Oh my God,
Was
Matip.
it Matip who nearly scored the own goal against Leicester, was it, as well?
Oh, potentially,
almost
yeah.
the same
Yeah.
situation.
Comedy.
Coming across from that side, wasn't it? So that's, I don't know if that was going in.
I'm not quite
his
sure
foot was
either.
quite open, wasn't it?
I think
But
that was
going
goal
in.
bound, yeah.
It's a good save from
Bayern
Alisson,
back
yeah.
on the attack here, though.
I
Oh.
just misread it. Go back. Sorry, what was the
Yes,
question? again?
Lyon-Barcelona, what do you
Lyon-Barcelona.
guys reckon, lads?
Yeah, so Barcelona not been in great form. They beat Sevilla 6-1 in there a couple of weeks ago, and that's kind of papered over a few cracks. But they're not playing their best stuff. And despite giving Valverde a new contract, the fans are even more unhappy.
Yeah.
Despite cementing their place at the top of the table. And Lyon, fresh off beating PSG, and how did they fare over this weekend? I didn't quite keep up with the.
And they really did a job against Manchester City
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
They've been
So it'll
really
be
good
close.
in Europe this
I think
4
it could be.
points off, City.
I'm going to go 1-1, lads.
Do you reckon? What do you reckon, Joe?
If it's in Lyon, I fancy Lyon to win the game. I reckon 1-0 Lyon.
Ooh.
Cubs?
I'm tempted by that, but to be different, I'm going to say 2-1 Barca,
different.
Messi masterclass. Easy.
Yeah. I do think Barcelona will put all their eggs in the Champions League basket this season. I mean, Messi said as much before the season started that they were really gunning for the Champions League this year.
When was the last
Been
time they
4
won it?
years.
2015?
2015, exactly. So it's been
Wow.
quite a while, in Barcelona standards. We'll see. But the next one comes in from Matt in Full Vision, and he says, do you think my club Spurs still have a chance of winning the Premier League, even against Liverpool and City? What do you guys think? Spurs, yay or nay?
Nay. Not
Here
for
we
me.
go.
Here's a
Here
great
we go.
chance for Liverpool. 2-1.
Oh.
You donkey,
To be fair, Robertson should have been quicker on the
I
overlap
think he
there.
should play Robertson in
Yeah.
there. He should pause.
I think he should drive central and then allow Robertson. He takes Robertson's space with his run.
But
If
if
he
he's-
drives central now,
If he just slows down.
as soon as that touch
He
comes
doesn't
in,
see Robertson at all, does he?
Doesn't
Liverpool
shout.
turned that into an attack very quickly from a throw, didn't they? Halfway into Bayern's half. Naby Keita, nice little layoff. Poor from your boy Mane.
oh, good legs from Matip.
So you guys, Spurs,
massive.
what do you
Look
guys
at
think?
Okay.
The Cubs, what do you...
I don't think.
Oh my
I
God,
don't think they'll
Becca.
be in it coming. So
What has he
we go.
done? What has Alisson done?
Oh my God.
The two keepers in this game are having a nightmare first
Alisson-
25 minutes or 15
That's
minutes.
Matip as well.
No, this is Alisson.
What? What's that little flick?
But you can't do anything with that ball that comes.
That's
through.
going this way towards us, McCubbin. Rosette, mate.
I mean,
Jeez.
Alisson sold him there, but he should be doing better
absolute
than
hospital pass, but
that. Oh my goodness! Both keepers need to calm down.
Both of them.
It's been an
No,
absolute
we need an
opening.
early goal. If we get an early goal in this game, it'll open right up because neither team can defend properly, can they? At this point,
Yeah,
And we need the views.
anyway.
And that is also true. No one watched Internet Reacts yesterday. Cheers, guys. Stayed in the office till 10 making that awful video. Oh, Liverpool on the attack yet again.
How's that not high foot then?
Oh, surely bringing it back for a free kick? No, Robertson picking it up.
Spray it, George! Told you, this guy's got it. He's got it.
He's world class.
He's world
whatever
class,
it is, whatever
Mikey.
it is. I remember him in his Sunderland days. I knew he was going to be a star.
He's got it, that boy.
Whatever
it is, he's got it.
Wijnaldum is
Just
on
that
one
little
today as
something.
well.
That leads us nicely into our next question,
mate.
which comes in from Genie Forever, and you're not gonna, you won't struggle to guess what it's about. They say, "How good has Wijnaldum been this season? Do you think he'll be exposed in this game?"
God, that's a vote of confidence, and then an
That's
absolute
He's
sold him down the river.
He's probably the best centre mid in the Premier League so far this season.
I mean,
Wow.
Fernandinho,
Fernandinho.
Eriksen.
Fernandinho, no, he's been better than Eriksen. Fernandinho, though, I'll give you Fernandinho. But I think
Ruben
in
Neves,
terms of
Matinho.
box-to-box midfielders, there's definitely nobody better than him in the Premier League. I think defensive midfielder would be Fernandinho, and attacking midfielder, you could argue Christian Eriksen. I think.
I think box to box justifies
definitely.
it a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe. Although I will say Paul Pogba is doing a madness. He has got
last month.
He has got what 20 goal involvements in 23 games.
12 goals, 9 assists. Yeah.
Yeah, 21 goal involvements in 23 games, which is quite
Sickening.
bizarre for a sense. I think that I would
Makes my
imagine that's
TC.
probably the most of any midfielder in the whole of Europe.
Yeah, since Ollie came in.
No, overall this season.
Oh, overall.
I don't think anybody would have
His
got more than
numbers have
21
just
goal
bumped up so
involvements.
I know that since Ollie came in, his numbers have been pretty much unrivaled, haven't they? But
I'd be surprised if anybody's got more than 21 goal
That's a
involvements.
good point,
from
Joe. I
someone,
can't think of anyone.
this season.
No.
So, I think Gini Wijnaldum, probably the outstanding midfielder alongside Fernandinho in the Premier League. And from the 18 minutes we've seen, he's been bossing it in central midfield, playing really well. So
he's got that little injection of pace, hasn't he? And Liverpool are playing some suicidal stuff across the back line today.
risky.
Oh, my.
It's a good touch
Brave,
from Navigator there.
Yeah, can be good.
Two of the best pressing sides in Europe. Like,
Yeah.
their press is so cohesive.
Yeah.
So,
I've never really looked at Bayern as a pressing side. They just, I suppose when Pep was there, they just always seem to be that combination of like intelligent and physical, don't they? They've always got like beasts in the side as well.
But under Kovac, I think they've changed a little
Probably
bit. Well,
pressed a
judging
bit
by the
more,
first
yeah.
18 here, they definitely are pressing. That's a terrible kick
terrible.
by Neuer. The two keepers so far. Wow.
Coman looks sharp, doesn't he?
Really sharp.
The two wingers as well, Coman and Gnabry. Do you think they're playing for their position? Because obviously Robin and Ribery probably moving on at the end of the season, and the chat is all about which wingers Bayern are going to bring in. But if I was Kingsley Coman, he's now what, 22?
Yeah, maybe.
I'd be
Time is
thinking
marching
this is my opportunity to absolutely crush it at a massive club. And Serge Gnabry.
Go on.
Good touch there.
Oh,
God.
Oi.
Hello.
Oh my God, that would have been the best goal I've ever seen.
Navigator going for an overhead from the edge of the box. Yeah, it's a good point, Joe. I mean, Kingsley Coman, we made him our star of the week on ERU this week, and I didn't quite realise that he's had 17 separate injuries and he's 22.
He
Absolutely
considered retiring, didn't he?
Yeah,
He did. Yeah, he did last summer and played really well against Augsburg at the weekend. So, you know, Kovac was delighted that he was past fit to play for this because he was a doubt after picking up a knock at the end of that game. But it's a good point, Reed Gnabry. Whenever I've seen the highlights of him play this year, I think he's looked pretty good. But whether he's Bayern standard, which is competing at the top end of the Champions League and consistently winning the Bundesliga, is another matter.
They're both kind of on an Arsenal level pegging because you've got. I don't think they trust Coman as a long-term replacement because of his body, and like you said, I'd feel a little bit miffed if I was Gnabry because he's been the way his position is being painted in this Bayern side is a bit of a stopgap, isn't it?
Yeah.
As opposed to someone who's earned his chance by playing
Yeah,
really
he's so
well
young.
at a title, well not a title rival, but a team competing for Champions League football managed by a very promising young manager who placed a lot of faith in him. So I think Gnabry, maybe rightly or wrongly, has got a bit of a point to prove, but. Yeah, neither of them secure in their place. I think Goretzka's been a lot better this season as well, but of course he plays a bit more centrally.
Definitely in the last couple of months, he's been probably their best player. But guys, we've had another question in from Menez, and it's a serious one, this one. Not about McCovern's bicycle kicks. And he says, what do you think about Diego Simeone renewing his contract with Atletico after his links with the job at Chelsea and Inter?
I'm not overly surprised that he's got a renewal. Doesn't necessarily mean that he's staying. They probably just wanted to improve his terms. You know, if a club really wants him, they can still get him out of there. But I don't think Diego Simeone works as well anywhere else. I kind of feel like he's trying to build a bit of a dynasty at Atleti. Oh wow, it's a horror show.
Who was that?
Andy Robertson.
22. That's gas from Nadbury.
But yeah, I feel like he's trying to build a bit of a dynasty at Atleti. I don't see him moving on anytime soon at all. And I think it's kind of a match made in heaven. I'm not sure he would be able to have the same success anywhere else in Europe.
I'm not sure he'd be able to command the same sort of power at any other club, would he? I think you're right in that regard.
It's like a once-in-a-generation thing, though,
exactly.
to be able to
Wenger at Arsenal.
And he's so loved there by the fans. Why move? Why move?
I don't know whether just every manager has a set amount time frame in their job.
Do you think it might be time up?
And I'm not saying he's got worse or anything, but you know, maybe a new message wouldn't go amiss to turn them to that next level. Like, I'm going to cover them in the podcast this Sunday, but Atletico Madrid are actually a surprisingly wealthy club, and they really need to, with their new stadium now, be competing at the top echelons of European football. And whether they can really get that with his current philosophy, I know they reached those 2 finals, but consistently win them is another thing.
I have a question about their finances then. So are they rich enough to to move into this new stadium and it not hamper their transfer policy?
Yeah.
Or are they going to have to keep qualifying for Champions League football, keep going deep in competition? So, you know, Arsenal had to qualify for Champions League football, didn't they? But are they rich enough that this isn't affecting them?
The new stadium will be a fantastic almost bonus because they've actually had a really well-run transfer policy of the last 9 years. They've sold incredibly well. Look at Jackson Martinez, Aguero, Falcao. They all left for close to 40 million. And I don't want to, well, I'll just say it because listen to the podcast anyway, but they've actually only spent £89 million in the last 9 years.
What, net?
Net.
Or net? Oh,
right, okay. Whereas,
I was going to say,
yeah, but
they've had some massive
European competitions, what, domestic titles, that's crazy.
I know. Well, so they are doing really well, but to consistently be in the mix,
like
I think they could
60 million on Tom Alamar, they've got 50 million option to buy on Morata.
Yeah.
So they might be spending.
Wait.
Go on! Oh, Mo, you idiot! We needed that for the stream.
No, but they haven't. Like, I'm not saying they've been money shy, but they've spent a fair chunk on a few players that don't seem to have worked out.
We're talking about a fair chunk. Mo Salah got good contact on that, didn't he, at the back post, and it's just nestled into the side net, in the wrong side of the side net. In fact, it didn't even hit that. Yeah. Went to the advertising hoarding. I think he should be doing a little bit better there. Unsighted. I don't know who jumped in front of him at the last moment.
I think it might
for Bayern.
Alaba, maybe.
But God, that's a great chance for Liverpool. But this could be 1-1, couldn't it? Quite easily.
Yeah, definitely. There's been chances of both.
I mean, both teams are pressing so high, and both teams are so willing to pay it out from the back. It feels like to me a mistake is going to win the game.
This is a
bang. It's going to be a horror show from a centre back or a right back that's going to end up winning them the game.
I think McCubbin with this, what was it, 3-3 prediction might well be on the running. Although we do need that first goal.
We need the first one.
One goal and it all open up, mate.
Yeah. It's been a high quality play in this game so far, man. Enjoying it.
Are you guys ready for Andrew Miller's question?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. He says, if you had to pick a dream coach for Bayern, who would be your choice?
Oh, go on. Who's starting, Joe?
I don't mind taking the floor. I think it's a bit of a shame, but I think they've missed out on Nagelsmann. I think Nagelsmann probably would have been a dream appointment for a lot of Bayern Munich fans. Obviously now chosen to go to Leipzig. And I also think that Thomas Tuchel would probably have been the dream appointment post-Pep. But the decision was to go to PSG, and I don't think they'll get him out of there anytime soon. So no real answer there, I'll be honest.
So two ships that have sailed. It's difficult, isn't it? Top quality managers that are sort of available on the precipice of leaving their club, maybe. I mean, Conte.
Solskjaer,
yeah. He's out there with what
Spirit of '99.
Yeah, I mean, there'd be a few fans that welcome. that remember him not so fondly, won't there? But yeah, I mean, Conte doesn't exactly suit their style, does he? I mean, their styles have been quite fluid with the different managers that have come in. Actually, Ancelotti kind of just carried on Pep Guardiola's good work, didn't he? And Jupp Heynckes kind of just let the players do their thing. But Max Allegri, maybe, if he gets bored at Juventus and he sees a better opportunity of winning the Champions League at Bayern Munich. Although, you know, they bought him Ronaldo, didn't they? They bought him the shiny toy he wanted. I'm guessing he's going to stay another couple of years as a result. But what about you, McCubbs?
Yeah, I would have gone Allegri as well. I think he's the safest option in terms of just someone who can keep a top club ticking over. in a league in which they're dominant. But in terms of actual footballing philosophy and stuff, I don't know whether he would necessarily be the best fit, or at least wouldn't take Bayern to whatever level they want to get to next. It's hard after you've had someone like Guardiola come in and take a team to their limits. You just don't really know where they've kind of been on a very kind of slow come down since then.
That's a very good
so
point.
It's
What about Poch?
I was going to say
shout
Poch
at all, actually.
If Poch is
Very
available, but you know he'll be the most wanted man in Europe probably this summer with the Real Madrid job, the Man United job potentially up for grabs as well. So if Bayern Munich could get hold of Pochettino, I think that'd be an amazing bit of business.
Just feel like he'll gravitate towards Spanish football though.
Yeah, I think Real Madrid.
I feel like that's his calling after Espanyol. I don't know.
I feel like he loves it in England.
Yeah, he must do. I mean, he's one of the few managers. If we're going to talk about Diego Simeone, he's one of the other few managers in world football, isn't he? That really has the command of his football club.
But equally, he has nothing to spend. Like Simeone, we're talking about having
cynical.
We're having big budgets for Simeone. I mean, Poch has 0. They've spent way more than they're expecting on the stadium.
That's big for the complexion of the game.
Yeah, that is. Misses the next match. Joshua Kimmich just got a yellow card. But yeah, I think Poch is going to have 0 to spend for probably the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Unless he makes major sales, in which case then he can spend. So unless he gets rid of a Kane or an Eriksen or a Dele or a Heung-min Son now, I think he'll probably move on because he just can't spend money.
Yeah, fair. I saw in today's transfer talk, which will be going out tomorrow. No, going out tomorrow that they're looking at Franck Kessié as a potential midfield option, which would be quite interesting.
Yeah, him and Bakayoko have been excellent in AC Milan's midfield.
Is that Tottenham?
Spurs are, yeah.
That'd be a really good signing for them. It's kind of like a Dembele replacement.
He's only 22 and he can do. I was
Still
looking
only
at his
22.
stats. He can do a bit of everything pretty well. But we've got Liverpool on the attack now.
Killing it.
Naby
on the left.
Ooh, that was a good
but
ball
the
as
ball
well.
is cleared away by Mats Hummels. Just about.
The quality of play in this game, like with the ball at the players' feet, there's been some mistakes because of the high pressing, but the little interchanges have been an absolute delight.
So good.
Generally.
Some of the feet from the midfielders.
Like that, even then, just kept there carrying that ball on there.
Some of the feet from the midfielders. Gini Wijnaldum, the biggest candidate, but outrageous ability on the ball.
Yeah.
Do you know who I've never seen so rattled early on in this game? Is Andrew Robertson. Gnabry is doing really well against him, creating a lot of danger down that right-hand side, which I'm surprised by because we've never really seen Robertson tested consistently.
Quite similar against Leicester. I feel like he's struggled for form of late. I've not watched Liverpool consistent enough to make that statement, but I feel when he's not got Van Dijk next to him, maybe, and he did in the Leicester game, so this doesn't really add up, but when he's not, Van Dijk, there's a lot of covering for him, doesn't he? He comes across that left-hand side, and I think Bayern are just finding a bit of space there. I don't think positionally he's as great as maybe, you know, he is going forward, but
yeah, because he made that awful mistake in that Leicester game, giving away that free kick, which then Maguire equalised from, which was a big mistake.
remember Wijnaldum standing over him as well, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Telling him off in that game, like.
It's interesting you mentioned his partnership with Van Dijk as well, because I think they pretty much came into that. Obviously, Robertson got bought in the summer before, but I'm pretty sure he only really came into the Liverpool team around the time that Van Dijk was bought as well.
Yeah,
so
right.
I'd be surprised if he actually has much experience at all at Liverpool. Not
Without
playing.
him.
Yeah.
You know, it's like very rare that you get to watch a full Bayern Munich game, for me anyway, and you just forget how good Thiago Alcantara is, man. Like, he is outrageous.
I watched the other day. I watched a 6-minute compilation of his best moments in the Bundesliga, and I just found myself undressed after about 2 minutes. I don't know what happened.
I also saw a few interviews of him today. He can speak English better than any of us.
I think he can speak 4 languages.
Incredibly talented guy.
I mean, they're a talented family, aren't they?
Yeah.
Spanish, German, English, and Portuguese.
Rafinha, I think their dad was a footballer as well, wasn't he?
Got a bit of everything.
Always a chance.
Right, Callum
Wijnaldum.
Atkinson has asked. We'll just wait for this.
Go on then, Andy.
Robertson on the left.
Oh, rubbish.
Terrible.
Over here, okay, Callum Atkinson has asked, would Schalke knocking Man City out be the greatest Champions League upset in recent years? Has anyone got anything bigger than Schalke knocking Man City out?
I mean, Roma against Barca was a pretty amazing comeback, wasn't it? And a bit of an upset as well last year.
The commentary in that game as well. You know, when
that was classic.
what was it?
Can't remember his
From
name.
the ruins of the Stadio.
great.
That
And
was such a good moment.
No, it was
No, it was the centre back.
Greek god.
Manolas.
Manolas.
Manolas. The
Yeah.
Greek. Yeah. I'm going to go back and watch it after this game. Yeah, that's it. The ruins of the Yeah, so good.
Brings down a dynasty or something like that.
I think that was one of the better games.
Goosebumps
But
moments.
yeah, I think Schalke, if Schalke were to beat City, it'd be outrageous. Aren't they? Where are they? 15th in the league?
They're struggling. Big
Something
time.
like that.
We need
and
Kieran for this
obviously
question.
Kieran would be loving it. Schalke. They've got a young lad though that is doing really well. I think he's like 17, just coming to the side. His name escapes me. If you know his name, let me know in the comments below. But he's been balling out, I think, so far.
Yeah.
The last few weeks.
I know who you mean. It's called something like Kubica, but that's the Williams F1
Yeah, it's
driver,
like
but it's something like that.
Kichichi or something like that.
Something like that.
I just can't remember it.
Right.
But yeah, City are going to smash them about.
Gustav
go on,
Nordqvist has his next one. And he says, should Chelsea sack Sarri if it means they can get Zidane in as a replacement? This is the juicy one. Joe, I know you've been itching to talk about last night.
Do you want me to kick it off?
Go on then.
Yeah, so I was at the game last night and I think Sarri's done.
Go on, Firmino, talking to Don.
Naby!
Penalty!
Goal!
What is Mane doing?
Was he offside?
There's
Please
definitely
say
a
he was
Hold
penalty.
on. Hold on.
If they got
VAR!
VAR.
If they got VAR, if it's VAR, this should be a penalty. Because
That's
there
hit
is
his hand.
100% a handball
Is it Sula?
against Sula here. This is a handball. That's a handball.
Mane should be
falls onto
doing
it, doesn't
better there.
How is this not?
Oh, that's a handball.
That is a handball.
This is so like Mane's finish against West Ham the other week, where you so expected
Oh,
him
no.
to
It goes through his
Oh,
legs,
it's
come
not-
back off
it's not
his
a handball.
leg.
I didn't see the leg deflection.
We want a goal. We want it to be handball. What's Mane doing there? Mane's better at finishing when he's ran 30 yards with the ball and just clocks it.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, there's an injury here, though.
Is that Sula?
Nicholas Sula, I think, is
That'd
down.
be a huge loss.
Looking like it's his left knee. But anyway, while Nicholas Sula is down, let's go back to the Chelsea situation.
Yeah, go for it.
I was at the game last night, and the fans detested. Not a great start. I mean, when you've lost the fans, it's pretty negative.
They were chanting pretty much like
they were
Sarri out.
chanting
weren't they?
F Sarri, ball,
Yeah.
Sarri out. As soon as you lose the fans, you're batting an upward curve. I think he's lost the players as well. No player on the pitch last night was battling for him. They gave up at, I think, 70 minutes. And when I think Zappa Costa came on, that was the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, that was
the
pretty
Jose
atrocious, wasn't it?
Mourinho, I'm leaving Pogba on the bench. Sack me now, please. Give me my payout.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here because he does have quite a bit to answer for in terms of his approach to certain games, I guess. But I mean, I kind of respect him, living and dying by the sword as well.
It's actually Kimmich that's down, by the way.
Yeah, what are Chelsea fans, where are they expecting to be at this point in the season, at the start of the season? Because competing for Champions League football in a cup final reads quite well, doesn't it?
I mean, it does. But
And this is an owner, the owner's disinterested. He's not had as much money as previous managers. He's still got the remnants of a squad that Conte said. Conte said after winning the league, only 3 or 4 of these players are good enough to play in the Champions League.
yeah, it's crazy. But they are, that paints a pretty rosy picture. I think, that does paint a pretty rosy.
I think that's a bit too much of a get out.
I think you could also argue in total freefall in 6th position, beaten by all of their major rivals over the last 3 months, playing awful football with a rotten squad, and
I don't think the football's awful. I just think
Mate,
they're
it's
playing it
terrible.
poorly.
It's
They're
terrible.
playing it so poorly. It's so slow. It's so cumbersome. It's so predictable. Everyone's taking too many touches. There's too much
whose fault is
individualism.
that? Is that 11 individuals?
No. But I think they could be playing better. I don't think anyone in the Chelsea team, bar Hazard, is playing to their full potential right now.
Sarri ball right now is let's pass the ball to Hazard and hope he does a madness.
I don't think that's his whole tactics. I just
Well,
don't.
that was the entire philosophy of last night because
Imagine that
Higuain
option on
is
Football
so
Manager.
slow, Willian dreadful, refused to bring Hudson-Odoi on, and the midfield are awful. The midfield three were a shambles against Man United. Not a single one of them was incisive. I didn't see a single through ball from a midfielder.
No. Well, who started? Kovacic?
Kovacic, Kante, and Jorginho, as you'd expect every week, and then shock Barkley was on at 65.
I'm not arguing that they weren't really poor last night. They were abysmally poor, but I don't think you can put all the blame on the manager. The players,
Neither do I.
Players and the fans are too quick to seemingly drop their performance levels, and the fans as well. The amount of booing that goes on when your manager loses something like 4 games in a month. I know that's bad. I know you're Chelsea fans and you demand
Gets
success.
worse when you
But you
clarify
shouldn't be-
those 4 as well.
But you shouldn't.
10 goals. They've the last 2 fixtures against
No, but
Manchester
you
clubs,
shouldn't,
they've
you
conceded
shouldn't
8.
be shouting "fuck Sarri ball" when come on, things haven't got that bad.
But I do think that's. I mean, I was speaking to Obaseki earlier, and that is the one observation of this last month, which I think Chelsea fans in the Abramovich era are
Spoiled.
completely shocked by and spoilt by is that they never ever get battered, even in the bad days.
Yeah.
They would never get battered 4-0 by Bournemouth.
New sensation for a lot of young fans.
6-0
Oh, good save.
It's like this is now a team, and I know there was that comparison to Arsenal. I can't remember who made that. But,
Jamie Carragher.
There is an element of that where suddenly like this.
What,
is
a little bit brittle, a little bit weak.
Just that this team doesn't
Physically
seem
weak.
to have that strong backbone that it used to. At least. It's not a team that can just shut down a 2-1 loss or whatever. They can just open the floodgates.
I agree, and because Chelsea fans always want to revert to that mean as well. You know, Jose Mourinho's 5-6 team, don't they? Of big characters, big physical specimen, and like they hadn't won a league title in about 30, 40 years before Mourinho came in 5-6. So yeah, something ridiculous. Was it Osgood or something? You know, when he was a player there, but. So I mean, they kind of keep harking back to this style that Jose Mourinho tried to employ at Manchester United and didn't really work. Like,
I think
football has evolved a little bit.
But I still think you can have.
I'm not saying it's inexcusable what's happening now, but
yeah, but you can see why. Yeah, I know what you mean, but like there's going to come a point where. You're not going to be able to keep up the traditions. But
I think the issues are as well.
But still, it's like even United over the last 10, as bad as United have been, we've never been taken apart 6-0. I mean, we did get 6-1 to City back in.
Oh
my God!
But equally, I think a lot of Chelsea fans, and this is completely right in my opinion. I reckon if you ask them, they would be slightly more forgiving of Sarri if you saw minutes for Hudson-Odoi over Willian. If you saw
but then that's him caving to the fans' pressure.
But is it?
Like,
because Willian's shit.
But what do you mean he's not shit? He's a seasoned pro, and he's probably contributed the second, third most amount of goals in the Chelsea squad. You know, particularly after Hazard. Maybe Giroud's next with the amount of assists he's got in all competitions.
But Willian's been dreadful.
But this is an 18-year-old talent. He is prodigious, but I think we do look at Hudson-Odoi through rose-tinted glasses a little bit, just because. We want to see young British players play.
But if
Willian's he's captain Brazil.
But I'm fully aware of that. But it doesn't make him good now.
But it doesn't mean that if he plays Odoi, you know, that's going to make the situation any better.
But surely by mixing it up, you're at least trying things. If you go and lose 4-0 to Bournemouth, 6-0 to Man City, 3-0.
But then what about the people that say continuity is key? And Pochettino has pretty much had the same starting 11.
But he's winning with it. Sarri's losing every game.
Yeah, but that's probably, I'd say, like, I don't mind Sarri sticking to his 11, but this isn't his 11. Like, he probably doesn't want Alonso, he doesn't want Barkley. Does he want, you know, Kovacic was a little bit of a Courtois, you know, throw in at the last minute deal. He clearly didn't want Morata. Was Higuain his first choice striker, or was he a quick fix?
Well, surely be willing to try.
I think...
Like we could have told you. Like
the substitutions with Barkley is a little bit like.
Yeah, I think like the last 13 substitutions have been Barkley for Kovacic.
Yeah, I mean that makes it easy.
Don't you think that's also a message to his board that he doesn't have the right players, he doesn't have players that fit his system?
I'm totally sure it is, but equally.
I get your point. I do think it's so predictable.
But it's not even necessarily predictability. Like.
Go on then. Go on, Mane.
There's no hope, is there?
Liverpool camping around this box now, working it really well into the Bayern 6-yard area.
There's no hope for me if I was a Chelsea fan. Like at least Hudson-Odoi, you know, I'd be thinking he could get better and better by playing more. Willian, I'm looking 31 years old.
Yeah, I want him to play, but Pedro, 31 years old, started the season on 6 goals. 5 goals, 1 assist. That's something ridiculous.
He's off a cliff now, isn't he? Him and William both.
But the whole team's just off a cliff, aren't they?
Yeah, so mix it up.
I think there would be. I actually think there'd be a lot less pressure.
Oh, great pressure
on Sarri had he won a league title in his career.
Yeah.
Up to now.
That's lovely build-up play. Joel Matip is on the end of it.
Salah, that's outrageous.
So Mo Salah picked it up wide left. He kind of dinks it over. Is it Joshua Kimmich a little bit?
Back heel.
And then it's a little back heel to Firmino. Firmino around the back, pulls it back to bloody Joel Matip.
Stepping in front of Mane as well.
What's going on? Well, Mane's had his chances, hasn't he, in the last 5 minutes?
True. Yeah. But you don't want Matip at the near post over Mane. But anyway, Abs, as a continuation of that Chelsea question, says, do you think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should be given the permanent job?
No, not yet anyway.
How close are you to getting there with him? I sensed it. I sensed it.
I've been
So
getting
I'm not
scared
close.
recently. I've
It's been
been
enough of
yeah.
that song in the office.
I'm absolutely sticking by my guns.
Every time
that-
you're off camera, he's at the wheel.
I'm absolutely sticking by my guns that we should be going for Pochettino and we should be doing everything we can to get Pochettino. We are getting a little bit caught up in the atmosphere and the
Why not? Let yourself.
and the feeling of Manchester
Enjoy
United.
it.
Yeah, that's all well and good. No, I am totally down for it. And I'm absolutely buzzing. This is the first time I've enjoyed watching Manchester United, probably post-Ferguson. The first time I've felt anxious about games. The first time I've been happy to see starting lineups. And I think he's probably brave enough, Solskjaer, to make some of the calls that have been needed to and not been made over the past few years. I think if he's still there in the summer, you'll probably see Lukaku sold. I think you'll probably see us buy a centre-back, which hasn't happened really properly.
Your
under
shopping
any
list is
manager.
apparently ridiculous. You listed some players.
The sale of
before.
Fellaini was a symbolic
sale of Fellaini,
victory
for
as well.
instance.
A massive symbolic victory.
equally,
Poor
such an easy
Fellaini
win for
just
him.
became
Yeah.
a pawn in the whole Mourinho
Yeah.
thing.
But equally, if Poch is available, man, you just can't. He is the outstanding manager in Europe right now. He just is.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Doing what he's got.
Oh, well defended,
Give him a
Matip.
Doing what he is with the players and the finances and the club at his disposal is outrageous.
A more good play from Nabry, that McCubbs. Oh.
Yeah, really good play from Nabry. Great ball. Would that have been Lewandowski on the end of that, or would it have been Javi Martinez?
No,
I think
Lewandowski.
Lewandowski.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
I
think
did defend from
Poch still for me. But
I think I
Ollie's-
read the other day that Liverpool are on course for, they obviously haven't signed a player for over 12 months now. And they're
Liverpool?
on course, Spurs. And they're on course for their best league finish if they win something like 7 of their remaining 13 games, which is,
he'll
that
do.
is a lot,
Amazing.
but that's doable for
He
the
will do
Spurs
that.
side. And to do that with the amount of turmoil that's going on, well, it's not
Yeah,
turmoil,
ridiculous.
but the amount of change going on behind the scenes is absolutely incredible from Pochettino. And I don't think he gets enough credit. I know he gets linked with all these top jobs, but we don't stop and think about what he's done. And particularly with the injuries he's had to face with this season as well.
Oh, no, he's not having a good
with
game.
Ali and Kane missing long sections. Son obviously going off for the Asian games as well. It hasn't been easy at the back. Lots of their players have been missing for
Yeah, I
long
mean, he had
stages.
Skip and Winks at one point.
Yeah.
In the field.
Exactly. And
Sissoko,
they've maintained, they're 5 points off the top, I think. Which is, absolutely ridiculous.
They're just finding a way, aren't they?
Yeah.
Son has shouldered a lot of that burden. But got to say, Jordan Henderson has been outstanding in this game so far.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Really good. But yeah, I still think Poch for me. I know, Mikey, you're swinging towards Ollie, aren't you?
It's difficult when you're caught up in it right now. It's hard to imagine a future without him. When
That is seriously true, though.
It is because I mean I was only watching it on TV, but when you're in the stadium,
God.
just hearing the United fans banging on the advertising boards, like singing Ollie's at the wheel
And
for
it
like
was
20 minutes straight.
of only Ollie chants. It was Ollie's at the wheel, like Ollie,
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 Ollie, yeah.
and then back to like the 99 Ollie Gunnar Solskjaer chant.
It's just, it was the loudest I've heard United fans in a long time. It was just that atmosphere. Yeah, it's hard to envisage that ending. But all it takes is a few bad results to kind of bring us back down to earth. That's what I'll say. But
When does it get to the
know.
point when you have to give him the... Oh my God, could be goal of this. Please!
How has there not been a goal in this half?
It's been mental.
It's been a really good game though. I'm not
It has been
disappointed.
really good.
I'm
It
not
has been
disappointed.
really
Just
good. We
could
just
do with
want
the goal.
search.
Oh,
I can't even
yeah,
hide it
What were we
anymore.
going to say? What was the question you were about to ask?
So when does it get to the point where you say, like, okay, he gets it now, he's on a level with Pochettino in terms of not managerial ability, because that'd be silly, not pedigree, but like his
ability to do the job.
Yes, or like his
yeah.
credentials for the job. Then like what, winning an FA Cup? Because then that's one more trophy than Potter's won.
Yeah. Champions
Maybe.
League
I
final.
think top 4 is
I
the
don't
key. Top 4 is the key for me. If you can finish in the top 4, I think FA Cup's a very distinct possibility, man. The draw's been pretty kind. It keeps Man City and Man United away from each other until the final, and the rest of the teams in it are very.
Is there not a draw?
beatable.
There's not a draw for the semis then.
I don't-
Is it set?
I don't think so. I think it's. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I think it's now
Just the
closed
1 minute.
routes where United would play Brighton or Millwall winner,
Okay.
and then we would play, and then City would play whoever's on the other half.
play.
Or maybe I'm wrong there, making that up, but I get the impression that's what's
Not
going
the
to happen.
easiest draw for United though. After City,
Wolves
the
away.
team
Oh, yeah,
the
hardest
team you
one.
didn't want probably was Wolves away.
Yeah,
But I feel like this.
But now I back him to us to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
a result.
There's like, even I'm not a United fan, but there seems to be a bit of a confidence, bit of an arrogance again about United.
A big time.
Backing yourself to go and win.
yeah, and it's just like you can you can tell the players all look about 5 stone lighter.
Pogba's
when they play.
outrageous. Pogba's literally outrageous.
But then bringing Pogba back in has made Rashford better.
Yeah, and there are players now that are getting exposed when.
Oh, go on! Trickling.
When the top quality players really are playing at the top of their game, like a Martial and a Pogba, you really see the disparity in quality between them and Lukaku.
It's harsh, but
I really rate Romelu as a finisher, but nowhere near good enough in build-up. His off-the-ball movement, watching him last night, you know when you're not watching on the TV and you don't see his off-the-ball movements and his runs, so far off Rashford.
I've not thought about this statement, so it could be quite wrong. But
here we go.
I feel like not many top teams have a player that profiles like Lukaku as their number 9 anymore.
No, I know what you mean, and also
more mobile.
I think
good in link-up play, like Lewandowski. I mean,
it's become a bit of a meme and a battering ram for Romelu as well. His first touch, but it is legitimately poor.
Yeah.
For this top level, the ball is coming into him. He takes 2 touches to get it under, and then the whole momentum of the counter-attack's gone.
But the alarming thing is, he's only having like 2 odd shots per night. He's not. You know that header that Pogba scored? Pogba showed the desire to get in the area where Lukaku should be. That's more alarming for me than not scoring.
If you watch that back, he plays the ball out and then he literally sprints past Lukaku. Lukaku's ambling to get in there and powers in a header.
Do you remember when Zlatan was at the club and he wasn't scoring, but he was just like, yeah, I'm going to score, like it's coming. The goals are coming, like believe you me, and they did.
But there was a lot of talk
Lukaku is like
about Rom going.
Yeah, I feel like he's scrambling around for a goal now.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Rom and Sanchez both cleared out in the summer to make room for another forward on the right, probably.
I love that clip of Ferreira, by the way. I love Ferreira.
What, getting in Sanchez's
He's a little shithouse. Like exactly like that. That'd be like the apex version of me playing football.
And also, did you see the clip that it was linked with when Sanchez was at Arsenal and he's looking Herrera in the face? He goes, "Who the F are you?" So now it's like Herrera like, "Come on, Alexis, we'll do it again." Oh, so good.
Right, guys, are you ready for a question?
Yeah, go on.
Right, this one comes in from Kushagra Sashan, and he says, so we'll just do this quickly because it's quite a big one. What will be the best realistic transfer the top 6 clubs can make this summer with the same managers as now? So, Joe, I want you to take Man United, one realistic signing.
Okay, one realistic signing, I think, is...
You're going to say Skriniar, aren't you?
Koulibaly.
Do you think that's realistic? Yes. Fair enough. Okay, Chris, a realistic signing or someone that you think Man City should go for? And McCubbs, you'll be doing Liverpool.
So a central midfielder. I'd say Alan, but they probably won't shell out enough because they've been priced out of a couple of players now, haven't they?
Yeah, Jorginho, Fred.
City. A central midfielder, God, to replace what Fernandinho does. I mean, I've been saying Neves just as like my stock answer because there's not many players like Fernandinho, is there? Fabinho's a little bit like that. I bet they'll be annoyed that they've not kind of consider him. I'll go Neves at City. And then maybe Guardiola to add that defensive side to his game. But
love it. McCubbs, any thoughts on Liverpool?
Liverpool, difficult. I think centre-back, just that second centre-back berth needs renewing. I mean, I can't get De Ligt out of my head, and he's not very realistic, is he? Let's face it. Especially when you're spending 75 mil on Van Dijk. What, for Liverpool to spend another 75 mil on a centre-back?
It wouldn't surprise me
at all. Did they not get confirmed?
Although I think that would be
to Barca.
No, I think that'd be really harsh on Joe Gomez, man. I know that he's been
true. I forget he's injured actually. I do forget he's injured.
So I'm thinking De Jong. You're De Ligt the centre-back. Sorry.
I think De Ligt will end up at
PSG.
PSG, yeah.
I think it's hard to know where Liverpool can strengthen now. Really, though, that's the thing. Unless they do go for another kind of Fekir sort of player at CAM. But obviously Shaqiri's been really good for them off the bench. He kind of can play that role. I don't know. Yeah, I was going to go for a centre back. I mean, they wanted Tarkowski, didn't they, in January? Apparently, he wouldn't be a bad backup to have that centre back and would be easily gettable.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting. Their backup striker. I don't expect Sturridge or Origi probably to last this summer. Just for their own personal ambitions, I expect they'll want to move.
Sturridge will go to West Ham.
Who take Spurs, Dukes?
A realistic Spurs signing. Good question.
Tanguy and Ndombele. A lot of chat.
I think there's so much chat about him, and rightly so. I think he's great, but I think they'd be slightly priced out of him. Who do Spurs? Spurs should go.
I think they'll need a centre back. That's my personal opinion. I think they'll definitely lose Alderweireld this summer.
Yeah, I think they might. Yeah, a central midfielder would be great, but I actually think they could also probably do with the new goalkeeper as well. I don't think Hugo Lloris is,
I think there's more important areas to fix in that squad,
tied to winning quality.
That's a controversial.
Tied to winning quality. I don't think Hugo Lloris is. I think he makes more mistakes than any other top 6 keeper, and I don't think he's getting any better. So I'd get rid of him. As for who I'd bring in, I've been really impressed with.
That opinion.
I'd be really impressed with David Sarai, who's been at Getafe this year.
Oh, sorry.
David Sarai has been at Getafe this year. He's pretty much, he's made Getafe had something like 5th best defence in La Liga. I think he's only 3rd behind for clean sheets in the league, behind Jan Oblak and Ter Stegen.
He might be a bloody good goalkeeper, but you're bringing in Getafe's goalkeeper to solidify them as
I'm
Champions
saying,
League.
I'm saying Hugo Lloris out.
Wow. I think that's really,
I'm starting it now.
Wow. I think I am the biggest proponent of the anti-Hugo Lloris propaganda. He's definitely not as good as some of the elite level goalkeepers, but he is fine. He has no need to change and get an upgrade.
I think he's still very good.
He's a top 6 goalkeeper.
Just getting some controversy going there. Spice it up a little.
In Pato's absence, someone has to
Hugo out. Hugo out.
I think Donny van der Beek's worth a look as well at Ajax. I think maybe his exploits have gone a little bit under the radar owing to Frenkie de Jong.
I think another Ajax player is a player that Tottenham should go for. I think they should look to bring in Hakim Ziyech. I think the extra manpower as an attacking midfielder takes some weight off Christian Eriksen. And I think he would be available cheaper than a lot of other options, and that's what Tottenham need. Tottenham need cheap players.
Tagliafico's been great every time I've watched him as well. There's Louis Garcia on screen, lads, and he's joining us on the Football Social on Saturday, so make sure you come and tune in for that Sunday. Me and you, doing the big games, aren't we?
Double header.
Liverpool United and City Chelsea. I'm going to be falling asleep by the end. But,
there's a 45-minute gap in between, so I don't think we're going to power through. I think we're actually going to have a break. We don't normally have a break, do we? So that'd be quite nice.
Yeah. Have a little nap. Cracking. But that will be very good. I'm actually pretty buzzing for the United-Liverpool game.
What do you think the score's going to be, Mikey?
Oh, I'm going to be a bit conservative and say it's going to be a draw. But I don't think we're going to lose. I think Liverpool don't have a great record at Old Trafford, even under Klopp. I think I'm fairly confident United won't lose, especially the fact that we defended pretty well against Chelsea.
Every time we learned from so many mistakes against PSG. That was our best performance, in my opinion, in the Solskjaer era against Chelsea.
I love how you call it an era. It's been a month, or maybe 2 months now. Yeah, 2 months.
It's felt like an era, just because that Jose release.
Yeah. Oh my God, the pressure valve.
That ball from Hendo.
But I do think. Every time I say we'll win comfortably, we end up losing. So I'm going to say we're going to lose.
There you go.
Yeah, we're going to win.
That's how it works. When you were like in the heat of, like when Ollie just first took over, and you were like, was it Burnley? And you were like, we are going to smash them for 9. And it was like, I mean, you eventually came back, didn't you? Which is quite a credible point, but.
Yeah, but equally we should have battered them. Tom Heaton was doing an absolute mad.
Tom Heaton loves playing against United.
Tom Heaton is suddenly turned into Superman.
Remember that save against Zlatan?
Oh yeah, that was so good.
Unreal.
That's one of my favourite ever saves, actually.
Unreal.
But Tom Heaton, even recently, who were they playing the other week? Was it Brighton?
Yeah.
When Tom Heaton just turned into prime Buffon.
He's making something like 4 saves per goal at the moment.
That's
ridiculous.
crazy.
Yeah,
He's
ridiculous.
pretty much
Joe
keeping
Hart
them
was
up.
making like 1.
Yeah, and people liked Joe Hart at Burnley, didn't they? Like, oh, he deserves a second chance at the very top, but like he's not as good as Tom Heaton.
No, he's not.
Fair.
Not even Nick Pope is a good
Yeah,
Tom
probably.
Heaton.
But I quite like Joe Hart as well. But
Go on then, dudes. Let's have another question.
Andrew Miller's saying, Doogie, did Hugo Lloris do something to you personally? No. Just
jealous of his hairline.
jealous of his hair. Does he have a
did.
good hairline, Hugo Lloris?
He's pretty strong.
Can't even think. And he says, Dominic Brown says Tottenham should sign Rabiot since no one else will, and Wan-Bissaka. 2 good shouts.
Somebody will sign Rabiot.
I think Rabiot won't go to Spurs.
Was that Pato? Is Pato in the comments pegging
Wan-Bissaka is a good suggestion.
I reckon Rabiot is going to end up at Man City.
Really?
Yeah, as that defensive midfielder, as a Fernandinho.
It's not a bad shout at all, actually.
Great. This profile pretty similar. I'd be, oh God, if they can pull that off.
And I think that Barcelona move, now that De Jong's gone there, I don't expect him to go there. And I don't think anybody else will be willing to try and manage the situation. Whereas City, I think they wouldn't be afraid of getting their hands burnt. They went in for Alexis Sanchez despite his
Rabiot. If Rabiot does go to
Yeah.
Barcelona as well, just go and sign Arthur for £300 million.
Yeah,
because he's the greatest player ever.
Okay, it's
On that
Casper
bombshell.
has asked, Should Lewandowski be considered one of the best strikers ever
Oh, get out.
due to his career stats?
Get in the bin.
He has
Best-
had amazing
his
career
career
stats,
stats,
though.
I don't
They
know.
are, they
Somebody
are
gets
unreal.
career
They
stats.
are
I'm
unreal.
gonna-
I'm
striker.
answering the questions here.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a couple of seasons where he scored over 40 goals. Like that's, I mean, outside of Messi and Ronaldo, that's pretty unheard of.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
do
in
of
this
this,
era
of
as well.
this,
Yeah.
of this century.
Yeah.
Oh,
Messi
yeah,
and
definitely of this
Ronaldo.
century.
Him and Aubameyang,
Of the last
yeah.
30 years, in the top 10 for sure.
You know, when Aubameyang
I
moved,
would
he was
say.
like, he was like,
Yeah,
I'm really
goal scorer.
sad because he spurred me on to be as good as
As
I
you were,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, and they had two strikers getting 30 goals a season. Like, imagine that. What did Salah get? What did Salah finish on? 32, 33?
32 last year. Yeah.
32, and how good a year did he have? And he
Yeah.
scored 32 goals.
But I would still take Aguero over him, and I would still take Henry over him,
Yeah,
And
you
I would-
definitely take on
and I
Ronaldo.
would still take Ronaldo over him. I think he just scrapes into the top 10 for me.
There's players with better all-round skill sets, isn't there? But like, in terms of being a thoroughbred, like pure goal scorer,
Yeah,
Lewandowski is top 10 of this.
Yeah.
What, from 2000 onwards?
From 2000 onwards, exactly.
Yeah, I'd say top 10.
He's also, from everything I've read, I think Guardiola said he's the best pro he's ever worked with. Apparently his diet, the way
seen
he,
pre-season,
the way
those
he looks
photos.
after himself,
Yeah.
he's mental.
tank.
Obviously, Guardiola's never worked with Cristiano Ronaldo, but almost Cristiano Ronaldo in his dedication
Yeah.
to his craft. So yeah, Robert Lewandowski,
He's got-
top striker.
At
Definitely.
what is he, 30 years old?
Yeah.
356 career goals at 30.
In 557
Not
games.
bad.
It's a
557
great
games.
record. It's a wicked record.
So
Yeah.
to answer your question, yeah, maybe of the current era, he's
Maybe
got to be
top 10.
considered.
And he
Top
started off quite slow, didn't he, as well? And I
Yeah.
kinda-
Is it Liga?
Lech Poznan.
Lech Poznan.
Yeah.
And Dortmund obviously played under Klopp, his opponent tonight.
Mm.
On the topic of strikers, Hazim Mohammed 000 says, should Real Madrid sign a striker in the summer or keep faith in Karim Benzema?
having a
McCubbin,
resurgence,
what do you
mate?
reckon?
Sign another striker. Well, how old is Benzema now? 30,
Benzema, I
31?
think he's 30, but he's having a bit of a resurgence.
He has had a bit
Yeah.
of a He's been very good recently.
Already
Linked
scored
up
more
well
goals
with
this
Vinicius
season
as
than
well,
he did
hasn't
the
he?
whole last season.
Yeah. You've got to get someone in there, surely. Like, I don't. It depends what Real Madrid's ambitions are over the next year, because you can't go into next season doing the same thing that they did this season, just expecting to be able to kind of paper over the cracks of Ronaldo leaving. Surely they've got to buy someone this summer.
Yeah, I agree.
They have to
I
make a
agree.
big step, like in the way that I know it's a bit, it's pretty, it's not in-depth analysis in any way, but just the way that Real Madrid operate, they have to make those big statements, don't they?
Definitely.
Just to
Their
keep
place in the
fans
market
on
relies
side.
on it.
Like I was looking about what was it? Like when they signed Ronaldo in 2009. I think this is they're on course to score the least goals since before Ronaldo joined the club, which is saying
Makes
something,
sense,
isn't
yeah.
it? It's crazy. And that summer, like I think they do almost need 2009 is looking. They signed what? Kaká, Ronaldo, Xabi Alonso, and Benzema in that summer. That's one of the
Really?
most ridiculous outlays I've ever seen by any club.
All them came in the same year.
In the same year.
Kaká,
I'm not saying they
Xabi,
need to do something on that level, but
Oh yeah.
they definitely need a
Definitely.
striker. They definitely need a new midfielder at the least. I don't know about a new left back, but yeah, they need something nearing that, don't they?
Hakimi. I think they'll bring back Hakimi as left back,
Yeah.
but yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think they need a winger and a striker.
Got
I
some
think
promising
they'll go
defenders
300 million.
in the ranks, actually. Yeah, we've kind of talked it to death, but it feels quite obvious, doesn't it? Them signing Eden Hazard, them signing Mauro Icardi, and the noises from both camps of those players, only kind of perpetuate those rumours, don't they? So
Yeah.
I do think one of them will probably end up at Real Madrid, but I mean, their backup options aren't good enough at the moment for to even contest a subpar Barcelona, who are being propped up by Messi. So if
They're only 5 points off them. Like they could actually win La Liga still.
I know,
I reckon they
I'd
could.
be surprised.
I
don't know, I don't
give
know.
it the state of La Liga this
Yeah.
season. What were we? On the ERU, Doogie? Sevilla have lost 6 out of the last 10, and they're still in the hunt for Champions League football.
They're
Like,
fourth.
what is going on?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Mikey. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Real Madrid came back and
What, just did a madness?
nicked it off of Barca.
Oh, but the league this year?
Yeah.
Really?
I would be so surprised.
Just because I think that there's a great crop of 30 to 33-year-old players at Real Madrid, and then there's quite a good crop of youngsters, but I think they just missed out in signing players But there's like 25, 26-year-olds, 27-year-olds who should be in their peak right now. There's actually very few of them in the Real Madrid lineup. I mean, let me know if you guys can think of any. Off the top of my head, I can't really.
But Vinicius has been
Casemiro. Yeah, but he's one of those younger players like Asensio, Vinicius coming through.
But
like
Isco should be. Gareth Bale should be. You know, Varane should be. Kovacic should be.
Well, yeah.
But they're not right now.
Through a mixture of circumstances.
And through a mixture of managerial
that always happens at Real Madrid,
injuries.
doesn't it? Like star players of incredible caliber, are always kind of left on the bench or outside the squad.
To answer the question, they're definitely going to sign a striker, and I think they'll probably sign a winger. I think they'll probably spend like 300 odd million and sell 200 million this summer.
Okay, good answer there, lads. Right, it's about to be the second half of this one. If you're just tuning in for the first time, this is Joe, Chris, McCoven, I'm Doogie.
Hello.
Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We do these quite regularly, and we've got lots of other great content for you. The next question comes in from Don Burgess, and he says, is Bernardo Silva the biggest surprise package this year, transforming to a world-class CAM to fill in for KDB? Or another player like Wan-Bissaka? Don
was reading, I think you were reading out Pep Guardiola's interview about Bernardo Silva, weren't you?
Yeah.
Where he just surmised with, I love him.
He just finished it with, I love you.
Waxing lyrical about him. I mean, I think there's very few players with his match intelligence. Like, it's unbelievable how he can fill in. You don't even notice David Silva's gone. You don't notice Kevin De Bruyne has gone, and that's just because he's like one of the top midfielders now. The younger ones are getting more and more versatile, aren't they? They can literally do everything. Dele Alli, Frankie de Jong, Bernardo Silva, and the match intelligence on these guys is incredible. But yeah, I think as long as Pep's there, he's going to be there, and he's going to be. I think potentially at the moment a candidate for their player of the year.
Fernandinho, Sterling as well.
Aguero, Sterling.
He should.
But he played more. He played more. I don't know if he played more minutes, but he made more appearances for the side than anyone last year, which shows that he was. You know, even if he was coming off the bench, that Pep always trusted him. And that's showing now, I guess, just how much he's improved over the last 12 months.
I'd say for another shout out for surprise package of the year, I also think you've got to look at someone like Ricardo Pereira at Leicester. I don't think anyone expected him to adapt so well from Porto. I think his numbers are only second to Wan-Bissaka and Idrissa Gueye in terms of tackles.
We did a scout report on him because we were like, his numbers were unreal at Porto. He had like over 2.5 key passes a game or something from right back. So like he's got that creativity. I don't know if it is a bit hampered.
I think he can also play right wing or at the back as well. Great start to the half from Liverpool, putting on some early pressure onto Bayern Munich. Next question comes in from Carl Bearden, and he says, how would Icardi do at United if he replaced Lukaku, Joe?
If Solskjaer's there's no way Icardi gets signed by Manchester United. He's not mobile enough, he's not fast enough, he doesn't get involved in link-up play enough. He is absolutely polar opposite to the style of football Manchester United are playing right now. He'd probably score goals because that's what he does, but equally, it's just not a Manchester United signing right now. I think there's far easier options for him to go to, i.e. Real Madrid, and smash it there. I know that Juventus I think the Juventus chief exec came out, didn't he? He said we were desperate for Mauro Icardi, and they ended up getting Cristiano Ronaldo.
It's not Morata now, is it? Beppe Morata.
They tried to sign Mauro Icardi pre-Ronaldo, and I think Ronaldo became available, and they were just like, yeah, we'll take Cristiano. So Icardi's not going to end up at Man United unless a different manager is brought in my opinion, anyway.
It'd be controversial if Liverpool score from this, by the way, because that didn't look like much of a grab by Lewandowski on Matip. This is a free kick in a promising area, but Liverpool lacking a bit of their aerial prowess, aren't they? No one in there.
It's a corner. That's outrageous refereeing.
Matt Hummels, what a gorgeous player.
Another question then, Who's got any more coming in?
Yeah, Smelly FB. Hey, Smelly. He says, who are your favourites for the Champions League?
Go on, McCubs, you start.
Don't know, Man City, I guess. Probably.
Yeah.
Really? I don't think so. I think they've been pretty poor in Europe.
Well, I don't know. Aside from the Lyon games, I think they've been all right this season. And you know, with these kind of tournaments, you can afford to kind of feel your way into them, can't you? I can't really. There's no one else that screams out at me who has that good a squad. Yeah. Man City. I just can't really see past them unless Real Madrid are gonna do something. Unless Juventus, unless like Ronaldo. You know, finds his usual form in the knockout stages. He's only
got
scored one
against
goal in
United,
6
wasn't
games.
it?
Yeah, was a fantastic goal.
Yeah,
to be
what a
fair.
goal.
But
And he did miss one through suspension.
That was what we did
Yeah.
that stream here, didn't
Yeah,
we?
true.
That popped.
We did, yeah.
I said Barcelona like after the round of 16, so I don't want to go back on my word. But I mean, they've got a squad that's well equipped to compete on multiple fronts. They've got like 12 midfielders at the club. Like
That's an excess, though, isn't it?
yeah, but they've got the talent. Like, it wouldn't be to the detriment if they rotated those midfielders, would it? Bring in Vidal in, bring in Arthur in, Busquets, the Croatian Rakitic. There's just so much talent there in that forward line. Coutinho's not really getting a game. Dembele, Sergio Roberto can play midfield. So I think they've got the sheer volume of players to do well. So I'll stick with them.
I'll go Juventus. I've also undenied. I think Manchester City are the favourites, but there's just something about them. I don't know whether it's. I can't put my finger on it, but I just don't think they'll quite have what it takes to get it over the line. So I think maybe Manchester City. I think they've got the outstanding squad. I agree, and they're probably favourites. But yeah, Juventus for me, the experience factor I think will tell for Juventus if they can get to the semis. That experience, I think Chiellini and Bonucci's probably last shot at getting there, and a few other players. Cristiano Ronaldo will be desperate to win one. He'll do absolutely everything to win one to prove he can win it in 3 different countries.
Imagine if they did win it this season, the season after Buffon decided to.
But imagine if Ronaldo does manage to win it in 3 different countries.
Yeah, that would be unreal.
What do you think?
That'll be the first time since did Seedorf do that with? Seedorf did it with 3 different clubs.
Yeah, he did. Real Madrid, Ajax.
It's a good start.
But not as influential.
Of course. Like I did actually put in an EFD 10 that I think is going out tomorrow. That Ronaldo is essentially the most influential, probably the best Champions League player ever, isn't he?
Yeah, I'd say
top
so.
Scorer by a distance.
What do you think to his and Dybala's joint celebration, by the way?
Love it.
Oh, I quite like it. Yeah. No, I'm all for it. I kind of agree with.
They've combined it.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Joe. I think
nice.
Juventus will be tough to beat. I mean, they're having such an easy time of it in Serie A at the moment.
True.
I think they've only dropped 3 points in 3 games.
And that's been in like latter games, isn't it?
Yeah, and they've just shown like this sort of never say die attitude. They're winning games so late. They're nicking points late. They haven't even played particularly well that I've seen in the last month or so, except for at the weekend. And you know, their depth of options that they can rotate up front. The only issue is their issues come when Chiellini and Bonucci or one or the other are missing, and I don't think their backup centre backs are quite to the same standard.
No, I definitely agree.
Regani, and I think it's Martin Cáceres that comes in.
Oh, go on!
This could be
what defending
Fabinho! Oh, love it. Right, that was a very in-depth discussion.
It's got very scrappy in midfield. So Liverpool actually are giving up possession. Both sides are giving up possession, aren't they, quite freely in the centre of the park, and both teams very capable of launching these scathing counter-attacks.
Do we actually know what's going on in Barcelona, by the way?
Yeah, what is the Barcelona?
Let's have a look.
Michael's a part-time Catalan, so come on.
Class from Fabinho, you know. We desperately need a goal for the views, though.
Oh,
Look at Dejan all
Little
Red
Riding
gives
Hood.
away. Little Red Riding Dej.
Come on then, what is the score? Let's get another question then.
Right, the best soccer player in the world, Finn, says, how do you feel about Aguero and Salah's ties for goals? So I think he means who's going to win the Golden Boot.
In the Premier League.
I just think Aguero this year.
Yeah, Aguero.
Yeah, Aguero is finding form lovely, isn't it, at the moment? Just at the right time. Although, having said that, he like Aguero scores a lot of goals in one game or like 2 games, you know, back-to-back hat-tricks, whereas Salah is particularly consistent throughout the season. So you need...
And a massive diver.
Like Aguero needs to do a madness, really. But I think Aguero also takes pens, doesn't he? Whereas Salah doesn't, right?
Salah does take pens.
Does Salah take pens?
He doesn't always take pens. Milner will take pens.
Oh, well, maybe when Milner's on, then you might be right. My bad.
And I've seen Firmino take some pens as well.
We've not spoken enough about this Bayern kit, by the way. It's absolutely lovely.
James is having a mare last 10 minutes.
Hints of light green in there. Yeah, he has.
Last 10 minutes.
Spread!
Terrible.
Robertson!
Move it again.
No! Keita's doing nothing. Oh my God!
No, it's not.
Oh,
Salah. Terrible Salah.
What was he meaning to do?
Salah's having a Champions League final.
Hey, 5 or 6 awful individual moments there. So Keita not spreading the ball out wide to Robertson.
Hammers losing the ball as well.
And then
Nicholas Sula chopping.
Sula against Robertson. And then
Salah. What are you doing?
Oh, Mo.
I thought that was genuinely going in from Robertson there.
I think
Mo
Kimmich actually did
That
a
was-
really underrated play there. As in, he was tracking back, he cut off the initial ball to Robertson, and then I think he got a leg in the way of the second one when it went through his legs, which then blocked it, and Sula managed to get in there. But Liverpool should definitely have made more of that. I think Naby Keita would be disappointed
Keita,
not to
that's
pick out
poor,
Robertson.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Naby
poor
Keita
for
had
Keita.
40 yards of room, Robertson had out there, didn't he? It was nobody
Just
out
had to
there.
Yeah,
get
where
that
was
right.
Kimmich? Nowhere to be seen.
I feel like Robertson's been fed a decent ball this game, to be
No.
honest. Maybe one in the first half, but
I think that's what frustrates maybe for people about Keita at the moment is it's a couple of times his end product like in and around the box has been fairly poor.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Right, dudes, let's get another question then.
0-0 by the way.
Any
Neil.
updates?
Red
0-0.
Shark Gamer has a very topical question.
Right.
He says, would James Rodriguez be a good fit at Liverpool Football Club?
Yes.
James Rodriguez.
Actually, I don't know.
No, they don't really play a 10, do they? I mean, God, Firmino has to do. How much work does Firmino have to do as a number 9? So maybe not.
But equally,
They did-
I
they
feel
did
like
want
he could
Fekir,
rotate
didn't
when
they?
Shaqiri comes in. Yeah,
He could play on the right-hand side.
My bigger issue is I don't know whether he's a good enough in the press.
Yellow card for that.
Yeah, I think
Cynical.
I think as a team that press really high, I'm not overly convinced he's good enough off the ball in a defensive.
That's a soft yellow.
So for me,
What are you
not
saying?
right. No.
No, you don't think he is in the
No.
press?
Yeah, I don't think he's good enough in the press for a Klopp side.
Yeah, Klopp would be demanding more from him for sure. But I don't know if that's unfair to say at this point. Like, what's his defensive contribution been like in the Bundesliga? Because Heinkes and Kovac aren't exactly I mean they're managers who require a lot of work out of their players as well, aren't they? So
equally, James hasn't had the best of times under Kovac, has he, in general?
No, definitely.
No, but
Until
he's still
recently.
he was.
I loved Andrew Ancelotti when the press wasn't there.
He was still good when he played. Like, I think Kovac is big on rotation, isn't it? I think up until like game week 12, he'd only started the same XI, once back to back. But yeah.
Quickly learned from his mistakes.
I think he had a really good 17-18 Rodriguez. I think it was something like 9 goals, 11 assists, which I think was a league high in terms of assists. But this year, not so much. And he was been one of the most outspoken advocates for Kovac sort of not really belonging at Bayern. In terms of like a sort of small style coach coming in, wanting to regularly rotate players. And I remember James Rodriguez coming out with some pretty, disloyal quotes at the start of the year.
But he loved Ancelotti, didn't he?
He did.
He loved
He
Ancelotti,
did,
and
but
Ancelotti loved him.
Yeah, but then he also had 6 months of Juppers and obviously knew there was a new manager coming in, so I'm not really prepared to accept that as an excuse.
He played on the right under Ancelotti. It was in a 4-3-3.
I think he played a bit of everything, yeah.
I don't know if he played a 4-2-3-1, but
But equally, no, I just don't think he's right off the ball for Liverpool. Great on it and good enough on it. Better option than Shaqiri probably.
I could see him at Chelsea. I could see him at Tottenham.
I don't think Tottenham could get anywhere near his wages.
But just in terms of being incorporated into their starting
Oh
lineup.
yeah, he'd be a great option for Tottenham.
Yeah.
But then would he get in over Ericsson? Very similar ilk of player.
Play both.
Oh,
Oi.
Nabry, talk to me.
It's Nabry
Serge
again.
Gnabry looks so good out there.
He has been
He's
fantastic.
been their danger man, hasn't he?
Yeah, man, he's
Really,
had Robertson
really
on toast.
Yeah. Here we go.
Just termed bloody Fabinho. Was it Robertson again?
Robertson again.
Turning him in
With
knots.
With those white,
Oh,
pasty
Jesus.
Scottish legs.
Well covered again from Fabinho. Fabinho has been solid at centre back today.
Yeah, surprisingly so.
I mean, there's been a few hairy moments, hasn't it? But tend to have been from Matip and the goalkeeper and Robertson.
No, he's looked great there,
Classic,
Fabinho.
man.
Especially considering as I think before this year he hadn't really played at centre back. I've noticed obviously he's played a bit at right back, including for Brazil, and obviously at deep, defensive midfielder. So to come in and look relatively comfortable. I think he played against Wolves in the FA Cup, Brighton in the Premier League, and then obviously in this game against Bayern Munich in the Champions League last 16 game, coming in a completely restructured defence. I think Fabinho's played really well actually, which has been good to see from his point of view.
He just has very good awareness in general, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely. He reads the
Great
game
ball,
really
yeah.
well. Definitely.
Great ball from
Great
Rodriguez.
ball.
That's so
James
good.
puts such a lovely cross in, doesn't he, from the corner?
Such a good
Definitely.
pace.
Right.
Whipped.
YOLO for Life says, is Chelsea or Arsenal a harder problem to solve? McCubs, what do you reckon on this one?
Ooh, that's so difficult. I think Chelsea, I think Arsenal in some ways is, just because this kind of post-Wenger project that was supposed to be all, fantastic, has kind of come apart at the seams in the last few months. See Gazidis leaving, Mislintat leave, and I don't know where that leaves them, to be honest. I haven't done enough research on Arsenal's general.
Oh, Gnabry again, the danger man.
God, Serge.
What a strike.
Talking of Arsenal players they shouldn't let go.
Yeah,
Have a
Serge
nibble on that,
yeah.
Gnabry.
Serge Gnabry would probably be starting for Arsenal.
Oh,
In fact, they're crying out for a player like Serge
I love
Gnabry,
that
aren't they,
connection.
They really are.
I
right
would
winger.
love to.
God, you know it's
that's
sweet when the ball barely moves in the air.
Just nestled in the onion bag, mate.
Go on, Mikey, what were you saying?
So, yeah, I would personally say, yeah, Arsenal, just because Chelsea have got quite a lot of experience as a club of turning, turning over managers, turning around squads over a 2 or 3 year period and getting the best out of them. Obviously, Abramovich's situation at Chelsea equally worrying. So I don't know. They're both in pretty poor situations, to be honest.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Though I think Arsenal's harder. I think Chelsea, as much as they're maligned, they've got much better players than Arsenal do.
Although you look around the Arsenal squad, the Aubameyang, Lacazette,
That's it.
Herrera.
Though. It's those front two. Take the front two out.
They're losing Ramsey, Ozil, pretty unhappy. Yeah, it's quite tricky, isn't it?
Whereas you look at least Chelsea have got a strong youth setup coming through as well. And you look at Arsenal.
When did that last happen at Chelsea?
Didn't happen, but equally Arsenal would.
Yeah, I know
Arsenal
what
are
you're saying, but
crying out
bloody
for
hell.
Hudson-Odoi,
Especially
and
if
Loftus-Cheek.
Sarri gets sacked now, chances the next manager coming in playing any of that youth.
But he's not played it anyway, so may as well not be there. I mean, Hudson-Odoi can't get a sniff, can he?
Or Ampadu.
Could have been playing
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Bayern.
I think you've been swayed by the fans at the game.
Why has Ethan Ampadu not got a minute? Anybody know?
Yeah, that's
Even Loftus-Cheek
Loftus-Cheek
can't get a minute either.
Christensen can't get a minute. Like, there are still some really talented young players at Chelsea, and for whatever reason, clearly not just managerial, behind the scenes as well, they just can't get a sniff. But definitely Arsenal's a harder situation.
They don't really have a vision. They never really had a vision, have they, Chelsea? Like I suppose it's great if the owner just wants instant success and is willing to facilitate that with his checkbook, like he did when Jose Mourinho came in. The Premier League hadn't seen spending like that when they came in. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's like what Manchester City have done with Pep Guardiola. Like, as much of a genius as he is, still needed to spend substantial.
Even if Chelsea didn't spend.
It's good, but it's in the best era of the Premier League, which I believe we're in now. It's a squad that, oh my God,
Trent,
go on, Trent.
Oi, Trent! That was such a good run from
naughty.
Trent.
Yeah, it's good enough to be competing for a Champions League place, is my opinion.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Whereas I think Arsenal's is a Europa League squad.
I think Arsenal are well off, and especially as they've said they're not going to spend.
Chris, what do you make of there's talk of them having a £50 million transfer budget in the summer? What do you make of that? It's pretty worrying times.
I think that's optimistic, isn't it? For like 30.
I mean, there's literally Championship clubs that are probably willing to spend near that to get promoted. So
spent double that, didn't they, last year?
Yeah, I mean.
Well, Fulham spent 90.
Thiago Alcantara leaving a nasty one in there on Henderson, the English Alcantara. Look at that mazy run. Run from Arnold.
Well played.
Should have just shot with his left foot there, shouldn't he? 50 mil, yeah, 50 mil is just not going to...
Cut it.
They'll probably just finish 6th again. I'm not totally convinced by Emery. Admittedly, I think he needs another year before the criticism is valid. But I'm sure Arsenal fans and people that watch Arsenal, they probably disagree with me much more. But I think him and Sarri both need another year, because where do these clubs turn to? Who do they turn to?
Yeah,
like Chelsea should have backed Conte after he won the league title, and then maybe they'd been able to start to build on that success. But
to be fair, he did win the league title and then go, yeah, piss off to the best striker.
Yeah, but he's not the first manager to do so. And
maybe over text though.
Yeah, maybe.
There you go. Get out of the club.
I just think in the Premier League, with the sort of depth,
it's kind of been proved right with Costa, hasn't he? Costa's been terrible.
Yeah,
he's been injured.
The way he dealt with it, I think the whole squad kind of just went, hang on.
I think that was blown a little bit out of proportion. That impact on the squad.
I don't know, man. He went back to lived in Brazil for 3 months.
Yeah, I mean that was an awful situation. But at the same time, like, I think it was at that point that Abramovich couldn't get in the country, wasn't it? That he kind of pulled the plug on spending. Conte was getting his secondary third targets. Alonso and Zappacosta, should they really be at a club committed for the Champions League?
Yeah, no, definitely not.
If the Champions League places even?
I'm kind of with you guys though. I think it's so easy with the sort of level of wealth in the Premier League and the level of competitiveness to look pretty stupid in the space of 4 or 5 games, because you can easily lose 2 or 3 on the bounce. And I'm not saying that these Chelsea defeats are acceptable, because they aren't, and the level of performances weren't acceptable. But I will reserve my calls for their heads in terms of Emery and Sarri for at least a full transfer window.
Klopp got 3 or 4 windows, didn't he? Before, after finishing 7th.
Yeah.
And I don't think that any of those teams are in as. I think they're probably in a similar position to when he came to Liverpool. It's like personnel-wise, suiting his style.
Yeah. I know everyone's been really worried that.
Think I'm being generous?
I don't know. I think I do feel like there's always been a sense with Klopp though that he was building towards something big. Like there was always a kind of almost like a kind of 5 to 7 year plan with Klopp. Got them to Europe, got them to like 2 finals as well in his first year as well. Like a good cup run, it does do wonders for. Yeah. I think if Emery, if Arsenal was still in the FA Cup, or if Arsenal had got to the League Cup final, then I think there'd be less pressure on him. Sarri has got to the League Cup final, to be fair, but not going to win it.
I mean, when did Fenway come in and take over from? Because was it Gillette and Hicks before, and they were an absolute calamity at the club, and Brendan Rodgers.
Well, they were the ones that thought it was a good idea spending 24 million on Stuart Downing.
I mean, they fell out, and then one tried to wrestle control from the other, and it was just.
Not great.
But like Fenway have come in, and given him the platform, given him the money, I suppose, and the time to build, which is like. I suppose I think Emery's more likely to get that than Sarri, to go back to the question. But
it's more in the culture of Arsenal as a club, isn't it? It's just the fact that there's not as stable a kind of behind the scenes.
But I also think like Klopp had a much worse squad when he took over than Sarri's got now.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And
didn't have an Eden Hazard, did he?
Didn't have an N'Golo Kante. You know what I mean? Like, N'Golo Kante, probably one of the best midfielders in the world, didn't have that level of player, and I don't think Emery's got that level of player. So I think Klopp. Yeah, I think Mikey's right. I kind of agree that it could be afforded that because of the long-term vision and strategy. Whereas I just don't think Chelsea have got that, and they haven't ever had that, and it's been successful. They're one of the few cases in world football that make a case for just continuously rotating managers.
In which case you're doomed before you start.
Yeah, to a level, but like Conte would say, my time there was successuful at Chelsea. If you were to ask Conte, he would be probably one of the most successful.
Yeah, but it just goes back to that question: what does success look like? Like realistic success for Chelsea this season? Like if Sarri wins a cup, is that I
don't know. But when Conte came in,
I suppose Champions League qualification is so important now, isn't it?
Yeah. Mate, if Sarri doesn't get Champions League, then it's over for him.
Yeah, if they
finish
like that
sixth,
in the next few
if
matches.
they finish 6th and lose Eden Hazard, wow, they are in a bad area.
And he'd be more justified going, wouldn't he? I think.
He's definitely got if they don't get it. If they don't fit top 4,
that'd sit better with him and the fans. He'd be able to leave on better terms, but I don't know how big a role that'll play. But
no, it's interesting. How Conte's now reflected on in terms of he's actually the second most successful manager in Premier League history in terms of winning percentage to Guardiola.
Really? Oh, good, because he broke the record for
most wins, had that incredible turnaround, also adapted really well when his first formation wasn't working out. Yeah. But yet he's considered like sort of spoiled goods, whereas he's not really talked about in terms of the big jobs in Europe anymore, which I think is a massive shame. But anyway,
because he's pursuing Abramovich for his wages.
Yeah, he wants that. He's a nightmare behind the scenes. That's why.
I think it might be that. But I know everyone's been really worried who's watching this stream. Sunderland are 4-2 up against Gillingham.
4-2
Took it off his toe.
That's what we should be watching.
4-2. Sunderland Gillingham.
But goal here.
Kyle Bearden.
Liverpool are getting a little bit of joy down the right-hand side now, actually. Alexander-Arnold's been quite prominent second half, but
they can't really get out by him either. They're just hoofing it towards Lewandowski and the ball's coming straight back at him.
It's got a little bit ropey this second half. The quality of play has not been as good, has it?
Definitely not. Did you see Matip just kind of hoof it? He tried to pass it to Salah earlier, and it was just awful. It was kind of like Fellaini style.
He's still in your thoughts, McCubbs.
Yes.
Go on then, let's get another question.
Yes, Carl Bearden says, if Sancho was to leave Borussia Dortmund, assuming his form stays consistent, where could you guys see him? Big question.
Real Madrid. There's option number 1. Definitely going to be after a winger, aren't they? I think Gareth Bale will probably be moved on in the summer, given his continued injury record. And he'd be a hell of an option for Real Madrid on that right-hand side. So yeah, I think Real Madrid would be the best option for him. I think Man United are going to be extremely interested in him. I think United are going to go all guns blazing for Sancho.
I'd love to see that.
Just breaking down for Liverpool as soon as they get to Bayern's half. I think we just saw a stat there on screen. They've had less possession and less chances, but it's not really felt like that, has it, in the last 5-10 minutes in the second half?
But yeah, go back to Jadon Sancho. I think he should go to Madrid, and Madrid should want him. But I think Man United are going to go all guns blazing for Sancho this summer. What do you reckon, Hamill?
Jadon Sancho. I wish he could come on for either of these teams and get a goal. To be frank, mate. Jadon Sancho, I think you covered that off like pretty well. I mean, he's tied down to a decent contract at Dortmund. They're going to get a monstrous fee from him if he moves. I think he'd be keen just to continue his development at Dortmund for at least the next 1 year, 2 years. It'd be unbelievable if he returned to the Premier League in some capacity, wouldn't it? I'd quite like to see that.
I think teams will want him now though, because I think teams are becoming wary about waiting the 2 years and then having to do a Dembele and pay 150 for him.
Yeah, but I think he's ahead of like his curve, his progress, like trajectory is ahead of where it should be. Like I think he'll probably be.
Dortmund just accept money though.
But the fact he went to Dortmund from Manchester City when he could have had a cush life at Manchester City would suggest he wants to play.
Yeah, but he's going to play wherever he goes now.
I don't know if that's the case.
If he went to United, he'd start every week.
We had this argument the other day on Sunday Vibes.
Around Madrid, is he? But
on that right-hand side.
What was that, mate?
We had this argument the other day on Sunday Vibes, John. I thought you said, or Continental Club, I thought you said he wouldn't start for Spurs.
Jadon Sancho wouldn't start for Spurs, no.
But you said he'd start for United every week.
Yeah, but their front line's way better than ours.
What do you mean?
I don't know whether he'd start ahead of
You've
Martial.
been rumbled it, eating your own words.
Harry Kane.
Eating your own words.
Would Harry Kane start for United?
Yes.
Would Dele Alli start for United? Would Christian Eriksen start for United?
Where's Dele Alli playing?
Way better than Martial, Rashford.
Neither Ali or Eriksen are playing on the right wing.
I think you're being harsh on your own products here.
Harry Kane is better than any of our striking options. Dele Alli is a better second striker than
Okay, Sancho plays his best
right
Sancho plays his best on the left. Would you start Sancho ahead of Martial?
Would I start? No. Jadon Sancho plays off the right.
No, he doesn't.
Jadon Sancho plays off the right at Borussia Dortmund.
Oh, I think he does a bit of both, but okay.
I would play. My ideal way would be a Manchester United front three of Rashford, Martial, Sancho. At Tottenham, I don't think he plays in their front three, behind Harry Kane, Dele Alli, and Christian Eriksen.
What?
Or Heung-min Son right now.
I think they're very evenly, but I think your forward line's pretty evenly matched.
We've got nobody on the right.
Yeah, but those players.
Forget Spurs have Moura as well.
Dele Alli and Son can play in midfield, yeah, but
we have no right. Son can't play in midfield, man.
He's better than more. He can play on the wing. Like he's not just like a forward.
Like Man United's right wing option is Jesse Lingard and Juan Mata. They start every week, one of them. 100% he starts over one of those two, Jadon Sancho. I love Jesse Lingard for his off the ball movement, but there are upgrades to be had in the market.
But what about these playing with these split forwards that you're enjoying at the moment?
Yeah, but Jesse Lingard still plays, doesn't he? Jesse Lingard plays as a split forward. We played with split forwards last night.
I mean, this is winding up to an argument about nothing really, because I think that he'd probably get as many minutes at Spurs as he would at Manchester United.
I think he's. My argument is that United have two outstanding forwards, and the rest.
You could
are a big drop off. Whereas at Tottenham, I think you've got four.
Yeah, you might well be right. McCubbs, would you like Sancho at United is a stupid question, but do you think he'd be a starter for Man United?
Yeah, I don't know if he'd start every game, but yeah, no, he would start the majority of games, I'm sure. But he's still pretty young though. Like, I think.
I mean, Llorente
you're
gets
afforded
a game.
more time in the booth,
gets a
He
game.
never gets a game, Llorente.
What do you
If
mean?
Kane's fit, he does not get a game, does he?
Yeah, but you can't. That's part and parcel of like playing
a
50-game season, isn't it? A key
player's
player's likely to get
plays,
injured.
But
Rashford can play on the wing, can't he? Rashford can play as a number 9.
Rashford's never going to play right wing. He's never played right wing.
But he played coming in off the left under Jose, didn't he?
Yeah, but that is now where Anthony Martial plays.
Yeah, so you've got Anthony Martial and Rashford.
And then you've got Jesse Lingard and Mata.
But then if Lukaku returns to being your top goal
he's never going to return, bro. Romelu Lukaku is not going to return.
You think it's beyond him to become a 20-goal-a-season striker again?
At Man United, yeah. Marcus Rashford is going to be our number 9.
I think
the Grim Reaper.
Do you honestly?
I think it's just a little bit temperamental.
Do you honestly think that Marcus Rashford is going to be displaced by Romelu Lukaku now?
I think they could interchange quite comfortably over the next 3-4 years.
Marcus Rashford isn't the most consistent.
Rashford I always think is quite a streaky player.
He's been very streaky. He's been in the form of his career in the last month, but before that, under Mourinho. He was so hot and cold.
Took the words out of my mouth.
If Rashford's streaky, I think Romelu's just as
Oh,
streaky.
go on, Mo.
What have you doing? What was Genie
my
Vardy
God.
I think Romelu's just as streaky.
Genie getting in the way there.
I mean, Romelu's
I don't know.
Premier
He
League
was
record
so
suggest
consistent
that,
last
yeah.
season. He was ridiculously consistent last season for United, even when he wasn't scoring.
That's a great flick on.
Oh, we've had a cracker
Go on,
of a
Keith.
question.
But yeah, either way, I think Jadon Sancho gets more game time at United.
Another
than
great
Salah.
tackle from Fabinho.
I mean, you put
great
up,
challenge.
It's some pretty good arguments. So.
Right, let's give a shout out to Diego Garcia, who says he's watching this during class over in California.
Oh, well,
Epic.
Nice
Epic.
one.
Send us a
Stay in
screenshot.
school.
Rock on.
Bunster has a great question. Well, it's juicy anyway. Does Klopp need to win a trophy to keep his job?
No.
I'm so bored of this question. I don't mean to be bored. I don't mean to be rude to who sent it in.
Bunster? Paul
Bunster, you're an idiot. No.
I like toying with the idea that he does, though.
It's
It's quite
I
funny.
seem to remember that at the start of the year.
Oh, Divock Origi's coming
Oh,
on.
big.
Shut the stream down.
Big. And Milner.
I seem to
Finally,
remember at the start of the year,
Champions League
Joe,
god.
that you said Mourinho and Klopp needed to win a trophy, otherwise they'd be under massive pressure.
they need to win trophies, but
Some of your old statements coming back to haunt you tonight, aren't
He
they?
Forget
I have
that
a
He's
list
watched
on my
every
phone.
single Football
Mate,
Daily video ever made.
Klopp definitely needs to win a trophy, but he's not going to get sacked.
Yeah.
So
Why does he need to win a trophy? He's not getting sacked.
But first, I imagine for Liverpool fans,
Just for
But
his
would he
legacy
play
in
Jadon
general.
Sancho at Liverpool?
he wouldn't get in there with
No, of
the team,
course.
would it?
I think if he came, I don't think Jurgen Klopp. He's definitely going to come second, and by virtue of coming second in the Premier League, that's progression on the season before.
they might
Doesn't
win it,
have to win a league.
I just think
doesn't have to win a
It's a
trophy.
bit juicy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's juicy, but yeah, again, like,
It's
what
like such
can
a
you
crap
do when
question.
you've
It's like a
got your
Poch
best ever?
question. Does Poch have to win a trophy? No, he's class, but he would like to. Exactly the same. For Klopp. It's exactly the same for Klopp.
I think the thing is, that's and like we were saying earlier, we're living in such a exceptional era of English football, at least in terms of Premier League football and Premier League performance, that it's so difficult. To win a trophy. Like look at, I mean, the last time it was this competitive at the top was like kind of between 2003 and 2007 when you had Mourinho, Wenger, and Ferguson, and that Wenger even after the Invincibles, Wenger's team was still pretty unreal. You still had Henry playing, you still had Bergkamp playing, you still had Pires playing,
Kleb came in.
still had Kleb, still had Fabregas, and they couldn't get near the title. And you're seeing the same kind of thing now, where you've got such exceptionally talented teams. And like whether or not you win the Premier League it's not really. It's just being in the fight, isn't it? It's just being competitive.
Do you remember Wenger saying there's like 5 trophies up for grabs, and in order of
top 4
preference,
was
in
one
order
of
of
them,
preference, it went Premier League, Champions League, and then Champions League football. Everyone scoffed at him at the time, but Champions League to someone
come
like
back again now,
to someone
yeah.
like Pochettino, it's absolutely like unreal given the circumstance, given context.
Yeah.
I mean, they just want to, don't they? It'd be good to win a trophy.
Yeah. Fair enough. 14 minutes left of this one, guys.
Who cares about the League Cup, Doogie? No one, mate.
We are really hoping for a goal to cap off what has actually been a really good game for a 0-0, but we do need a goal now.
We do need a goal,
Big time.
please.
And
It has
Origi
been
is on.
good, but I mean, quality in the final third has been poor.
I think there's been a lot of last-minute ditch. There's been a lot of last-ditch defending, which has done really well. But I'd agree, they've slightly fallen apart in the final third, particularly in the second half. Not that many clear-cut opportunities created. The pace has slightly dropped in the second half as well.
Yeah.
The midfields have just been a bit messy, haven't they?
Yeah.
Shaped a bit
The
mad.
boss says, "Has Joe been drinking?"
No, I haven't, which is an interesting
We're
statement.
feeling a bit peaky earlier, though, weren't you?
I was feeling
was.
a little bit peaky,
Yeah.
but it won't change my mind whether I've been drinking or not.
Yeah, he had a couple of Benadryls before.
I can't. Like,
I think you argued your case pretty well.
No, I think
we've
you
got to
have.
put some respect on Tottenham's name. I don't think the Tottenham forwards get anywhere near.
I mean,
enough
4 weeks ago when Tottenham go for an injury crisis, I said I'd prefer Bournemouth front four, which was definitely a more rogue statement.
Yeah,
but
that was
I'm
truly
not having
mental.
that Jadon Sancho can wrestle his way into that Tottenham side.
I'm sure he could, but he's not
You need to get
a
off the sauce,
starter.
mate. All right?
He's not a starter.
Stop drinking.
there.
To clarify, when Hamill said that, he was at least half a Guinness down, so he was well on as well.
At 11 o'clock, so I was gone.
Yeah. Right, next question comes in from @Rooster98, and he says, "Has Bobby Firmino played to his full potential this season?" Juicy.
I've not really been. Oh, go on, please. Goal.
He was.
He's just not as good as the other forward, which is Mo Salah, is he? So
He's been he's vital to this Liverpool side, isn't he? Stitches play together. Yeah. Like he's such a smart forward. But in terms of goal scoring, he's maybe let off a touch because of those around him. If Liverpool are under a little bit more pressure, and Bobby Firmino had how many league goals has he got this campaign? Can't be any more than like 7
8.
or 8.
And I think 3 of them came in a game against Arsenal.
Yeah, I think maybe you'd want a little bit more from as your number 9 if your wingers weren't so prolific. But
Equally,
I mean, that's a big if, isn't it? So.
Like, that is not a massive amount though, is it? 7 or 8. Do you think there's upgrades to be had on Firmino?
His best season was last season, wasn't it? 15.
I feel like I love Firmino's interplay and build up, but I'll throw it out there. If you could get Dybala, is an upgrade.
It's true.
If you could shift Firmino onto a Real Madrid, and then you could have the financial clout to bring in Dybala.
I'd get that kit. I'd buy that kit. Dybala at Liverpool. I love that.
Oh.
That's like the Premier League has needed like that sort of Italian for a while.
Yeah.
You know, like a bit of a rogue forward. When was the last?
We haven't heard any top Italians.
I mean from the Italian league.
Osvaldo when he went to Southampton. That was the last.
Osvaldo.
Can't really think of any other epic Italian signings. Aquilani at Liverpool. It wasn't that epic though.
Do you mean Matteo Darmian? Put some respect on his name.
True.
Oh,
Paolo Di Canio was probably the last. Who's the last great Italian forward?
We haven't met. Italian players in general have not been a big thing in.
It's the same with Germans. You know, on Winners and Losers the other day, best German, Leroy Sané.
Oh, what a title that was! No one in football daily watched that.
Well, you should all go out and check it out. But you know, except for Michael Ballack, there hasn't really been any superb German talents that have come to the Premier League.
And none who have come in their prime. I guess Özil and Ballack was almost kind of a little bit past his prime by the time he got to Chelsea.
Özil was the best 10 in the world when he arrived, man.
I suppose historically you would say they're two nations that, you know, with their national sides, they favour. Hello, please goal. Oh, they favoured players from their domestic pool, haven't they? Yeah. Like the Italians used to be like, if you want to play for the national side, don't move abroad, and that's what happened to Zola. That's why he barely got any caps.
Yeah, that's a really good point actually.
Very good question.
I think,
Very good answer.
What was the original question? You think we answered it.
Has Bobby Firmino played to his full potential?
Oh, we did kind of, didn't we?
You should bring Dybala in. That's, I mean,
bring Dybala in, definitely.
Buy me that shirt.
I like Bobby Firmino. It'd be interesting to see what Liverpool would be like with an out-and-out 9 in there, and whether their forwards would be able to keep it going. I'd probably doubt it.
If you had an out-and-out 9 there, Salah would just have to sacrifice goals, wouldn't he? He'd have to change his role slightly.
I know. It'd just be fascinating. I just don't know how their attack would function without him. I think he's crucial, but
Salah's still got a bunch of assists this season, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
He has, but I think he was still more productive as a creator at Roma when he had like Dzeko to feed.
Oh, come on, we're desperate. We need a last-minute winner.
Right.
What's the next question?
Jonathan Coit-Lua has said, where should Depay go if he leaves Lyon?
Sorry?
Memphis Depay, where should he
Roy
go?
Mackay. I was like, what?
I think Memphis Depay should go to Bayern Munich. I think Bayern Munich
really good
on
shot.
the left wing, we love Koeman, don't we? But he is just too injury prone to sustain that role. And I think him playing on the left is perfect.
Has Memphis been playing on the left this season, or has he been playing a bit of both? I thought he was playing more on the right. Maybe not.
You could play either wing though, couldn't you, at Bayern? They need 2 wingers, and I think Memphis could do either role. And he can also kind of play as a floating 9, can't he, at times? Just take a bit of pressure off Lewandowski, because no offence to Wagner. No offence to Wagner, but is he still there?
I think so,
Oh, God. James Wayne. Hence James Wayne. Sandro Wagner. He looks like James Wayne.
He's still there, yeah.
To China.
Sorry?
Did he go
no, he might have left. I think Memphis Depay is exactly the sort of signing that Inter Milan should go for. Someone with,
he feels like an Inter Milan signing.
Great attacking.
Sideways, man.
Yeah,
from
it
Lyon.
is.
I know, but I think Inter Milan would be able to pay better wages, and I think he's got. That is the signing that Inter Milan should go for. Whether Memphis Depay would go for that is another matter.
PSG.
Ooh, maybe, but that would.
What?
I mean, if Neymar left, that'd be a good replacement.
Well, I think if Cavani left.
Well, then put Mbappe through the middle.
Play Mbappe or I think Neymar can play through the middle as well.
We saw Mbappe against Man United lead the line really nicely, but I still think I prefer Mbappe on the wing to at 9 at current.
Running at players.
Running at players from wide positions. That's where I think he's at his most dangerous. And sometimes I don't think he's necessarily he hasn't played enough at 9. I think at the moment, and his movement off the ball, while superb, is still a bit erratic sometimes from the central positions, where I prefer him staying wide and then cutting in.
What about a Chelsea Eden Hazard replacement?
Lovely.
On the left, Memphis. I feel like I really feel like he's had his hands burnt by the Premier League, though. I don't know whether he's going to want to come back to the Prem, to be totally honest.
Come on, flick that in.
What are you doing, George?
Here we go.
Oh, Matip! Why is Matip on the end of everything? idiots.
That is awful, isn't it?
Oh, that's just the
That
last
is
person
so
you won there.
terrible by Matip.
We've
Could
literally...
have taken a touch
He had,
there so
he had
easily.
5 yards of room.
We have not done a full day's worth of work to put this live stream on to see Joel Matip get Liverpool's best chances in this game.
Oh my goodness.
Honestly,
It's
that is
40
the
yards.
state of it.
It's 40 yards over, 40 yards to the right. Not a good one. Not a good one at
State
all.
of it. I also tried to buy those glasses that Jurgen Klopp's got on. I look like an absolute... Oh, well, I won't say it on the
Stick
stream.
to-
Yeah, I won't say it. It's not
Stick to your
big.
Kangles.
No.
One shot on target apiece.
Samuel
The
L.
quality has been so rubbish.
Yeah, not being great.
Second half is
The
They
quality of
promised so
build-up
much.
playing in the first half was great. And it's been still end-to-end to an extent second half, hasn't it? But the actual... Both teams got scared to concede on the counter.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get another question then, dude.
Harvey Stanton says, do you think Man City letting Denayer go is a mistake when keeping others? He has been phenomenal in this Barca game and has had Suarez in his pocket, which is a very good point. We actually don't know the Barca-Leon score.
It's 0-0.
But
Still
Chris,
0-0
as a
as
man
well.
that's
What a
had
nice
first-hand
Champions League
experience
football.
of Jason Denayer, what do you think?
When he was leaving Manchester City, we were linked with him, and I really, really wanted him in the club. And lo and behold, Leon were like, no, he's not going to Celtic. He's going to Leon, and a brilliant free pickup for them. I think he could have. He definitely could be a squad player at Manchester City. It was we had him and Van Dijk at centre half. So it was actually a bit of a purple patch for us, and I think they scored between them. I think they scored about 20 goals.
Really?
In all competitions.
That's
Yeah, that's
so
What was
good.
Denayer
when-
doing?
that was when Van Dijk was on free kicks, mate.
Well, what was Denayer doing? Headers?
Van Dijk scored at least 4 or 5 free kicks in the league in 2 years at Celtic.
I know he can take them, but I'm
Yeah,
worried about
j-
how did
j-
Jason Denayer
From,
get 10?
just from corners.
Love it.
It was just an absolute beast.
Yeah, but going back to the question, Man City's centre-back options are a madness. So
Yeah, they don't
we
need
wouldn't get
Jason
enough
Denayer.
with it.
But I'm happy that he's found his feet at a Champions League club because I think he's a. Good save!
Great
at the
work.
front
Was that
post.
Mane?
I think it might have been
Mane.
going.
Was.
Might have been going wide.
Come
Mane's
on.
been quiet for a good 20 minutes, hasn't he?
Yeah, come on. We
Stooping
just need a goal
header
to
there.
liven it.
Stooping header from a Robertson ball at the near post. Sadio, we needed that, big man.
Correct me if I'm
Yes.
wrong, but I think that's one of the best balls we've seen Robertson play all day. I haven't seen him whip in with the normal velocity that he normally gets.
And that might have been creeping in actually.
Yeah, it took a little deflection, didn't it,
Little
off
bit
the
of
leg of Nicholas Sula
Hips
as
to that,
well.
nice little north face.
Come on, we really need a goal because the views are just
They
going to
love
be
wearing North
abysmal.
Liverpool, Liverpool.
Drinks
We
giving
did,
a smirk
we
from
did-
behind.
Mikey, this is
He's a
your
screamer.
fault. You predicted 3-3 and we all said you've jinxed it.
No, I think
No,
I
it's
might have
not-
said 4 goals in the game as well. So
Go on!
I did predict a draw though, so yeah, I get 1 point.
saving
Yeah,
grace that.
Right, lads. Joseph Calvo has the next one. He says, thoughts on AC Milan making top
another
4?
corner.
And if they do, what happens with Gattuso? I'll take this one because I actually wrote a section on ERU about AC Milan.
Who sent this
And
question?
Joseph Calvo.
Is that your alternate account, is it?
He's my old chum. Nice to hear from you, Joseph, again. And AC Milan have been flying in Serie A. They are, I think they're 7 games unbeaten. They've conceded 5 goals since the start of December.
Yeah.
5 league goals, which is the same. This is a European high along with Barcelona. Piontek's obviously come in, played really well. They played really well against Atalanta. They came back from a goal down at the weekend. Piontek scoring 2 goals, one of the goals of the season. You guys all saw that volley.
The clipped.
Just
Van Persie,
excellent.
that's
Calhanoglu with another great goal as well. So
That was a ping. That was a Martin Luther zing. That
was great.
Stayed
Luther
3
zing.
inches off of the floor.
That was his first goal of the season.
it's
Calhanoglu.
Mate, Jeremy Lynch would have been proud of that one.
Yeah.
a lot of swaz.
swaz.
A lot of swaz. But yeah, to answer the question, having
Swazanoglu.
thought Gattuso was nailed on to have a sort of, a middling 12-month spell at the club, I think if they finished 4th in the league, you've got to keep him on, really. And
Because there's better managers than him that are vying for that 4th position, aren't there?
yeah, definitely. I mean,
Inzaghi,
Di
Gasperini.
Eusebio, just behind. Exactly, Lazio are behind as well.
He is I feel like he might be a little bit like Zidane in that his personality makes up for his shortcomings tactically.
Yeah.
Like you would not want to lose if you're facing
He
Gattuso
scares
in
me,
the change
and
room.
I've only seen him through the TV.
What's his thing? Does he slap his players or something? Or what did they? Oh no, he got them to give him a slap, didn't they?
It's very Alan
Loves that.
Partridge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I mean, we've all seen the clip of him throttle Joe Jordan, or vice versa.
No, he
actually.
headbutted Joe Jordan, didn't he? And then Joe Jordan throttled him.
Yeah, I've seen
Well, go
Chris
on,
get
Ray.
it.
Right, that's class,
Aye.
Frank.
Oh, he's been on for 2 seconds.
Coming back, I'm just going to get
rolling
a bottle
back
of
the
water.
Oh,
years.
very
It
good.
is
from you,
dry in
please.
here, isn't it?
Yeah,
mate?
could you grab me one as well, Diggs?
Yeah, it does feel quite
Thank
dry.
Been a dry game.
Hey.
Cheers.
just
Shout
water.
out
Just
Priory
sip the
Falls.
same way.
Still spring water.
Anything.
Right, yeah, anyway, let's talk about the game because we've literally got 3 minutes left. Is it playing out how you thought it would?
No.
I mean, it's the polar opposite, isn't it?
It's not playing out how the first 15-20 minutes would suggest it would either. Like, it was such an exciting, breathless opening.
Yeah.
But like high-quality chances have been few and far between. The keepers haven't actually had to make very many saves at all, have they?
No. The finishing's been off. The final balls have been off.
Which is odd.
The defensives haven't been
so
amazing, but they have just about managed to kind of do enough, haven't they?
This is an unreal result for Bayern Munich, though. To not concede at Anfield.
I think you'd still want an away goal, though, wouldn't you?
I think they've been quite scared to commit.
No.
Both teams.
Yeah,
great.
Lewandowski's hardly been making any runs, has he?
You've got to say, great match from Bayern so far.
Yeah, Bayern's have tactically got it spot on tonight.
Yeah.
If they'd have got an away goal, it's the dream away Anfield leg, isn't it? I mean, they've pretty much dispatched every European counterpart they've faced at Anfield, haven't they, over the last year and a half?
Yeah,
so.
they're unbeaten in 14 games.
Yeah,
at Anfield,
doesn't surprise
which is their
me.
second best run ever.
And I like how you think of when City went there and they just played them off the park, smashed them about like they were nothing. It's
Oxlade-Chamberlain's back in training.
I think they haven't lost in Europe at home since they lost 3-0 to Real Madrid in something like 2014.
yeah, that was when they rested.
Brendan,
five
Gerrard.
of
That's
the
when they put
key
Gerrard
players,
on the
yeah.
bench.
Gerrard on the
exactly,
bench.
which was absolutely
He got so much
mental.
stick for that, didn't he?
He did. Ronaldo
But
scored.
Bayern have looked pretty relatively comfortable, I'd say, in this game, particularly in this second half. There hasn't been that many clear-cut opportunities. But yeah, I mean, going into the Allianz as well, Bayern are excellent at home in the Champions League. This is an opportunity missed for Liverpool.
It really is.
Nicolas Sula looks like an All Black, doesn't he? What's he doing
Good
playing
shout,
football?
yeah. That is a good shout, actually.
He's
Okay,
massive.
England will win the World Cup, says it's Piatek, not Piontek. You're actually wrong. It is Piontek.
Yeah.
I was wrong for months, but I got told it's
It
actually
is Piontek.
It's one of those ones
mate.
where you know it's wrong, but you're going to get grief for saying Piontek, so sometimes you just go Piatek.
Yeah. I mean, I pronounced it wrong for the first 4 months, but I'm trying. I'm trying.
Yeah,
It's
It is
Piontek.
Piontek.
Next one. Das Boot says, do you think Thiago is one of the most underrated players in the world?
Underrated.
I don't think he's underrated,
pretty
is he?
well rated, but I guess just the injury last year we had that awful injury.
Well, he's had so many now.
Like,
hasn't
yeah, I think he's just not been as visible as we would have liked him to have been over the
he?
last few years. I
If
think.
Thiago had been fit and consistently fit, he would have been an ideal Fernandinho replacement.
He would be. He'd be unreal under Guardiola. Unreal.
Well, he was
He
as
was,
well,
yeah.
of course,
He
at
was,
Bayern
yeah.
Munich.
Yeah, I mean at City.
And the boss.
But it was the old Thiago or nothing, wasn't it?
Just don't think they can take the risk.
Was it his
of
first
injuries.
window? He bought Thiago in when he
Yeah,
said
he bought
get
him
there
straight
like when he was like get
We
me
need this
Thiago
guy.
or don't
We
get me
need
anyone.
Thiago, yeah.
Thiago on negt.
I just think I think if it wasn't for injuries, he'd be probably the best midfielder in the world.
Well,
Shame.
His numbers when he does play are absolutely flipping obscene, aren't they?
Yeah. In
every
every category as
department,
well,
yeah.
like dribbles, passes completed, key passes, deep progressions, tackles, interceptions, just madness.
He just runs.
Total
things.
madness.
great player. Right, Kushagra Sashan has asked, is the Emery Ozil situation at Arsenal solvable without selling Ozil? If the club has to decide who do they back, or should the board step in and resolve? It's a question that I've been thinking of a lot about today because I've included him in transfer talk tomorrow, and I just think that it's pretty difficult for Emery and for Ozil because Emery clearly doesn't favour him in his system, but yet he's got this player who's on £350,000 a week who was given that contract by Arsene Wenger before he left. Now, Arsenal are in a quite tricky position because Emery doesn't favour him, but the more they don't play him, the more his value decreases, and the more chances are that a side won't be able, that will want Ozil, won't be able to afford him. Because if Ozil's not at the top of his game, the likes of Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, you know, the clubs of Ozil's calibre.
Who else is going to pay him £300,000 a week?
Exactly.
China.
So he's going to be stuck at Arsenal. He's going to become something of a white elephant. And no one's going to be able to get rid of him.
Play him,
And
in, you idiot, Marnie!
he'll be on this mental salary, and he'll just stay rotting at Arsenal. So I actually think it's a really sort of poisonous situation, and they should have sold him in January. And not playing him for 6 months only decreases his value, and they lose even more money on wages. To me, it makes no sense.
I mean, they should be playing him. That's for me.
Yeah, well, how is he not in that starting lineup?
It's just outrageous, man. I can't fathom. Oh, get out of it, Thiago. But I just can't fathom how he doesn't get in that lineup, man. It's just, I know Emery's trying new things, but it's not exactly like they're the most advanced pressing system ever seen in the Premier League, is it? Come on. like leave off. Yeah, I just think he has to play for Arsenal, and I think he'll probably outlast Emery, to be totally honest.
Fair. The Cubs, where do you think Ozil could go? Do you think he'll leave this summer? What do you?
I genuinely don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty perplexed as well as to what happens next for him. To be honest, like you just don't know. Like you were saying there, Joe China. Yeah, like it's. Yeah, it's just a shame, really, isn't it? I genuinely don't know where he'd go. Like, back to Germany, maybe.
Emery, he's just going to outlast Emery.
Thiago in the last 2 minutes has made 3 interceptions. He's just telepathic.
Oh, any
chance,
ref!
Referee. Is that
Nob.
Andre Mariner?
That's ruined the game, that.
No, Ribery's not having it, is he?
Ribery's fuming. They got the other end now. Liverpool and score a goal. It'll be hilarious.
Oh, who's this? Matt Summels.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
Look
Well
at
done.
Hummels has had a really good game,
So
to be fair.
rogue.
Yeah.
I had to tell you, Javi Martinez has had a really good game as well.
He's battled, hasn't
Yeah,
he? He's been in the wars. Yeah.
Battle Arden. That is pretty much full time though. There's 3 seconds left. You
Go on,
guys
Thiago.
probably ahead of us, and that means that. Oh, here's one last chance for
Here we
Bayern.
go.
Robertson
They're not gonna pump it up.
fuming.
Javi Martinez clattered again.
Let's go back. Javi Martinez has been battered around. And I'm surprised his body's still like functioning.
Yeah, I know.
When I was reading that book on Bayern, Pep Confidential, it's like every other week, like Javi Martinez has lost another tendon.
Yeah, I know. He literally is held together by a shoestring.
But he did invent the Hunger Games, so it all works out. In the
It
end
is
for Javi
interesting, isn't it?
Martinez.
He invented
Where-
the Hunger Games.
That's what he
He
claimed,
claims
yeah.
that he wrote a book when he
claimed-
was younger, which was almost identical to
really?
the Hunger
And when he
Games.
sat in the cinema, he claimed it was so freakishly close, he believed that the writers must have stolen his laptop. Totally. Yeah.
Right, there we have it,
Love
full
that.
time.
Oh well.
0-0.
Well, I'm not even going to clap. No. Just
It is.
That's poor.
That is a disappointing
poor.
result, mainly because we did a live stream for it, but also because Liverpool have really missed an opportunity there.
Yeah.
I mean, away at the Allianz Arena, it's going to be really difficult to go through now.
You know what? I almost feel like Liverpool fans don't care. Like they would rather just focus all their nervous energy on the Premier League. Like they've had enough kind of big European nights to not really worry about that at the moment.
I think we
Top's
should
annoyed about something. I don't know why.
Kovac for now.
I think we maybe get one more question because I don't think we should stick around very long.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
on, we'll
fair
have
enough.
one more.
We'll have a game related one even. Danny Puig must be related to. Is he called Ricky Puig for Barcelona? Anyway, Danny Puig.
Oh, the little
says-
guy.
Yeah.
Ricky Puig. He says, "Is 0-0 a fair result?" Chris, what do you think? Fair result?
Yeah, I don't think either side was daring enough, and the onus was on Liverpool to be a little bit more, well, not a little bit more, a lot more committed to attacking at home. I think Bayern have executed a brilliant game plan there. Like they didn't even have to. Liverpool, they actually had the majority of the possession in the second half. Like Thiago and Martinez won the midfield battle in the end, didn't they? And I don't know what alterations Kovac made, little subtle maybe changes in the second half, but Liverpool completely shut down in the
Robbie
second
Williams in the crowd.
45.
Robbie Williams is there?
Yeah.
No way.
No, it wasn't really.
Ah.
It was a German fan with a mask.
Oh, fair. To be fair, Jurgen Klopp is a big Robbie Williams fan.
Is he?
He went to a gig. I think within a month of being Liverpool manager, I'm pretty sure there was like some. I think it was the iTunes Festival in London. Robbie Williams played, and
They need a few,
Jurgen Klopp was in the
need a
crowd.
few bloody angels to get through at the Allianz, wouldn't they?
Hey.
Well
Priorities
done.
from Jurgen.
Really good.
But are they going to rock DJ? That's
That's arguably better. But
Not
just
this
I didn't
millennium.
get the same reception.
Hey. All right, let's relax. Let's move on. Is that the last question? I think we should just wrap it up there.
Yeah, do it away at the Allianz for the kids.
Yeah. Hey. Absolutely killing it right now. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this episode of Armchair Fans. Before you do anything else, make sure you go and watch all the other content on Football Daily. What
Might be there for a while. It's a Tuesday, so an XI went out.
XI
It's
went out
breakout
today.
stars
Yes.
of the season.
Make sure you go and watch
good,
that.
that.
We've
Touch wood,
also
that did
got
well because this stream hasn't.
We've
Cheers.
also got what's it called on Sunday? Football Social.
Social,
So
yeah,
go
yeah.
and tune into that because they've got Luis Garcia
yes.
on the
The
screen,
Gasgol.
which is going to be exciting.
What are they calling him? Lucho.
Lucha.
Lucho. They got Luis Garcia on screen with who else?
Chris
You,
Hamill and Michael
Cubs.
McCubbin.
Dave Jackson, I'm pretty sure, lives at Sky Studios at this point. And yeah, obviously the legend is Adam Smith returns.
Yes. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, guys. We are going to continue talking because behind the scenes they don't know what's going on. But yeah, that's very much it. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye.
Bye.